Hello everyone, we are Art of War.
And we believe in creating a community where people can talk about, learn, and improve their skills at Warhammer 40K.
Our channel has live stream competitive matches of 40K, played by the best players in the world.
And we focus on teaching you how to get better at Warhammer, while also emphasizing sportsmanship and engagement with our audience.
We strive to play every faction in the game to a top level, while also using a variety of lists to show off different playstyles for every faction.
We also offer a variety of other videos such as codex reviews, faction rankings, tactics videos.
When you join our channel, you become part of our community, where we emphasize learning and positive conversation about competitive 40K.
You get early access to our videos, sub badges, emotes, as well as rewatch those hangout and hobby sessions.
Joining our community is a great way for you to show your support for us, so we can keep making awesome videos for you and continuously expand the bounds of competitive 40K.
Welcome everyone to an Art of War tier list. We are here instead of our normal hangout and hobby video. It is myself, John Lennon, joined today by the one and only, indomitable, still vulnerable to knights, Richard Siegler.
I'm here.
Alright. I am super excited for this one. We always get a lot of chatter, in comment sections. Always get questions about tier lists, who's better than what, who's the best army, where does my army stand? This is it. This is the definitive answer. This is the build-up. This is all of it. This is the live Art of War tier list. This is going to be great. This is going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a little bit of back and forth. But we're going to go in-depth on pretty much every faction in 40K. At least everyone who's got a codex. We're probably not ranking the Jailer Pox. Sorry, folks. But
Who's running in Star Striders?
You know what? I think those are actually worse than Jailer Pox, if I'm being honest. I think Jailer Pox are like F+, and Lucidians are F-. But other than that, we're going to be ranking every army in the game. It's going to be super exciting. Yeah, I'm ready for this. It's going to be really fun back and forth. We're going to be interacting with the chat. So if we say something absolutely crazy, if you think that Orks are better than Mech, let us know. We're going to be interacting with you folks this whole time. It's going to be great. Drop those super chats in there. Drop those chats. Subscribe. Do all the good stuff. I'm ready for this. You ready?
Are you ready?
Absolutely. I'm 100% ready. So ready.
Well, where are we going to start, John? We're going to just go down the line here on this wonderful chart with all these 40K factions?
Yeah, I think we just go straight down the line. We start there, we drop them in their spot.
Guess who's first here, John? Look at that.
Wow, how ironic. Admech are first.
It's the Scutari. Oh, the wonderful Admech. So, I mean, you know my opinion on Admech. I think they're, one of the best codexes to come out so far. I think they have great matchups into a lot of the meta. They have tools all over the place. They have amazing stratagem support. And honestly, I think one of the hardest barriers for them is just a lot of terrain.
Yeah.
It's less about the army across from them and more about more terrain on the board makes it harder for them.
I think they have some counters. So Admech are a recent codex. Their first weekend of widespread event usage was just this last weekend, where they took first place in 3 of the 5 GTs that were played this last weekend, at least the 5 that I saw results for.
Yep.
62% win rate. They're definitely going up there. I think the question for me is not are they at the top? It's where are they in the top relative to other armies? I think that Admech, you can maybe argue for A+, but I think most people are going to agree that they're somewhere in the S tier. That's where I'm starting. I think the default setting for me is Admech or S tier. They're doing really well. They have a lot of tools that a lot of armies just can't deal with. So it feels like there's a couple more matchups where they can struggle, but there's a lot where they just won't. Where Admech just have the tools and it's over.
Yep. And
just getting that 100% against, the bottom half of the field, that is harsh right there. That's a really tough one to overcome. So Admech I think they're going to go in S. I don't know if they're going to be the top of S, though.
All right. Well, I mean, just to lay it out, if we have a 20-man brick, Scutari, big brick of OBSEC, they're ignoring AP 1 and 2, they're permanent, they're transhuman. This unit, and potentially their +1 saving throw against damage 1, their +1 saving throw for that turn, they're in cover. That is a bear to deal with for a lot of armies. And I think the criteria really for S tier, or at least one of those criteria, is going to be there are armies that just can't deal with some of this stuff. And there are a lot of armies that rely on AP 1 and 2 shooting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Story time here. I played Admech last weekend. first turn, I went first. He didn't have all of his like command phase buffs up. I killed 34 Rangers out of 2 20-man bricks. I took him down to 3 and 3. Turn 2, he had put some command phase buffs up, and I killed 5. And I was like, oh no, I'm in danger. Oh no. So 100%. You know, Admech are one of those armies where they're not bad going second, but when they go first, it is terrifying. They have such good matchups. For me, I think we put him in S to start. And because they're the first army that we're putting down, we don't have to really worry about where they go in S tier.
We'll come back to it.
But as we put other armies in S tier, I think we can negotiate that. We did have a super chat from Lyle Dixon paying $5 for us to start with Blood Angels in F tier where they belong. I'm not sure if I agree with that part, but I say we skip over. We do Blood Angels right now.
Let's do Blood Angels.
Let's do Blood Angels now. Let's reward Lyle for that super chat. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
However, they're not going in F tier.
They're not going in F tier. So we are ranking all the Space Marine chapters individually. Let's just say that. We have all the Space Marine chapter logos. We're going to be doing them individually. Right, we're not going to do them all at once though, because that'd be kind of boring. Yeah. So where do Blood Angels? I would get excited. I would be excited about that.
You would want to rank all the Forge World chapters too.
Absolutely. So Blood Angels, they're sometimes regarded pretty low because they're not one of the best Space Marine chapters. It's interesting that we're starting off with one of the not great Space Marine chapters, because how much does being a Space Marine get you? Because I have a high opinion of Space Marines personally, so that's me being biased. But the question is, you know, how much is that worth? What are you thinking for Blood Angels here?
Well, let's talk about context for one. For Blood Angels.
Talk about context.
Unfortunately, in the FAQ points update that came out recently, they got hit pretty darn hard, even though they've been struggling.
Yeah, they went up in points.
Yep.
The Imperial Guard,
Vanguard,
the Sanguinary Priest, the Apothecary.
Yep, he's very pricey now.
Up.
They didn't get any help.
No, they certainly did not.
So that hurt them. In addition, each successive codex that has come out is actually quite difficult for Blood Angels to deal with in different ways. Dark Angels, they have the speed and a ton of Melta all over the place, so they can get the angles on your Blood Angels army and alpha strike you, even if there's good terrain. There's Death Guard that are just -1 damage all over the place, and a lot of Blood Angels rely on damage too. And now, increasingly, you're seeing a lot of ignore AP 1 and 2, with Admech, of course, and transhuman abilities. And Blood Angels, they can get through it somewhat, but you have to start running larger bricks, and that makes you worse in other matchups.
The biggest thing for me when I'm ranking the Space Marine sub-factions is it's not that I think Blood Angels are actually a terrible army, it's just that I look at Blood Angels and I think, remind me why you're not White Scars or Space Wolves. I know I don't like admitting that Space Wolves are playable, but they actually are. So I look at Blood Angels like, ooh, you're a Marine chapter that could be doing something else, and you don't bring much unique to the table. And you're not that amazing at the thing that you do.
I'll say the other thing is, going back to meta shift, the meta has shifted more towards Space Marine lists that shoot a lot.
That's true.
Because you want to be able to kill a particularly nasty armies like Drukari before they get on top of you. Because they're really cheap units, trade very efficiently into your elite bodies.
Yeah, the way the meta is shifted does not.
Marines need to shoot a lot, and Blood Angels just don't have enough shooting buffs to separate them from other chapters, and so they've struggled in that sense as well.
So, what are you thinking here?
At the end of the day, they're still Marines. They have a codex. They have some good stratagem support.
I think I know where I want
psychic powers, and they still do a lot of damage. Like you mess up against Blood Angel army, they can. Rights of War is also another big thing. I'd put them in B tier.
Ooh, I was actually gonna say C.
You're gonna say C?
I was gonna go C if I'm being honest. You're thinking B tier?
I think bottom of B tier. Yeah.
See, I was thinking I feel like bottom of C tier.
I feel like Marines at the end of the day are a B army.
Yeah,
and then there's a couple.
But then this is like one of the worst Marines, so I feel like that. I feel like the aggregate Marines is probably B tier, but some of them are going to be A, some of them are going to be C.
We can put them at C for now,
and we can go back and negotiate on this, but I'm not going higher than C tier for Blood Angels personally.
I think they're better than almost every Xenos army. So.
Richard's gonna hate this. I think Necrons are better than Blood Angels still.
Definitely disagree.
Oh,
you actually beat me with Blood Angels.
I remember.
And you don't have any Blood Angel practice.
I know. I was there for that. But that was before both of those armies got points nerfs.
Yeah, Blood Angels got more.
That's true. So they should lower.
We'll see. All right. So that's Blood Angels. There are a lot of questions in chat. But honestly, We're gonna pay attention to the super chats the most, and we're gonna just keep on rolling with the factions for now.
I am gonna pay attention to Hunter Nichols because he gave me a fist bump this weekend, though.
Fist bump.
Space Wolves are playable. No, do not clip that, Hunter. They're not playable. You're getting ignored now.
All right, Guard are up next, John.
Guard are up next. Oh, don't make me say
You
it.
love Guard. You
I
love Guard.
put Guard
You
in
played them
like
for so
I think
long.
I put Guard in like B tier last time, and I recall that there was a lot of flack for that. However, I think that the last 3 or 4 codexes have deep sixed Guards so hard. We are, just to clarify here, because this does change things, I think we're going off of the pure armies variants here, where Guard are much better as an ally than they are as a pure faction. Pure Guard, though, honestly, I gotta put him down to D.
Why D? Like what? They have move guardsmen. They can deny.
Move
primary
guardsmen are
points, they
good,
got
but
decent indirect fire.
People are more gearing up to kill T3. People are more gearing up for weight of fire. -1 damage and -1 to hit being, like lightning fast reflex being 1 CP means it's trivial to tell a Manticore that it's not shooting anything relevant this turn. Unless you high roll a bunch of 5s, but I usually do. I hit on 4s well with my Manticores. Once it gets 5, it's done. It's over. It's like it's not doing anything anymore. Guard, man. High AP, high damage, high strength weapons are coming into play here between Cognus Las cannons, which wound on a 3 and then a rust gets a 6 up. Dark Lances wound on a 4, but then they don't get a save. Both of those combined really kind of sucks for Guard. Russes are going to get killed very quickly. Transports in general are getting popped very quickly. T3 Guards are getting popped extremely quickly. I don't think they do enough. I think secondary changes being easier for everyone kind of hurts Guard a little bit because Guard, we're useful as like a little ally to bring some secondary play to some Imperial armies, but I don't think they're as necessary there. I think indirect got worse. Tuning against Admech, like trying to kill Admech bricks and trying to kill witches and trying to kill raiders, just means you're also good at killing Guard. And Guard, when you were trying to kill Marines, plasma guns out the butt. Guard is like, I've got cheap plasma guns, I've got good indirect fire. Marines usually aren't -1 to hit. You could do some cool stuff there. I think it's all gone down.
Yeah, the prevalence of no escape, more veins.
Oh my god, those are terrible. Those are terrible for Guard.
Guard don't have easy ways to get
those last 3 or 4 codexes all felt like really bad for Guard. I was trying to figure out lists where I'm like, you know what, indirect fire, that blast is not bad in Skitarii Rangers, and I started doing the math. I'm like, wow, this is so many points to kill 3 models a turn. No. So, I think Guard are as a pure faction. I think Guard have gone way down. I still maintain they were actually not bad early 9th edition, but right now I'm thinking D, and only because I don't know what E tier is. I was gonna skip. I'm between D and F. I don't know what E tier is, honestly. So I'm gonna say Guard or D tier.
D tier.
D.
And Last Chance Bragg doesn't work. What is
okay, all right.
He doesn't help out?
He doesn't. All right. I'm assuming that the frag grenade thing, the endless frag grenade, isn't real. Because if so, someone's going to throw it at Celestine and no damage will ever be done ever.
Clock themselves out.
No, you can always get out of that by choosing to shoot the autocannon, but still, it's so... We're just pretending that doesn't exist. And the Last Chancers, they're cool, but it's also, I think that unit alone is worth 21 points on Assassinate. Now, obviously, that you only score 15, but man, one unit getting, a vehicle explodes, wow, I just lost 3 assassinate points right there.
The unit of Severus Raiders with the Wrath of Mars picks up the unit.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you need Wrath of Mars for? You just pick up the unit anyway. Just target character's dead. Because Guard don't have bodyguards. Oh man, it's so bad. Yeah, made me sad.
All right, we got a $5 super chat from Matt Laura. My word bearers are S tier, right? We are the whole reason 40k exists. Surely we are the best.
Well, you know what? Let's skip it. Let's just grab that word bearer and just drop it right. You know what? I don't know what E tier is, but that sounds right for word bearers.
Boom. Is that word bearers?
Yeah, I think so.
That's word
Boom.
leaders.
I'm so sorry, Matt.
Boom. There they are.
Oh man, warp
It's
time.
probably
Not
not
even...
the warp time nerf made them even worse. They're pretty much pointless as a faction.
Honestly,
I think
they are. No. They still have the better warp. No, they have the weird possess thing. They're not F tier. Look, when we talk about the armies in F tier, I promise they're worse than word bearers.
God, I feel like you can beat word bearers, no problem with GSC.
Okay, that's true. But that's only because Nick is the chaos bearer. Oh no. Word bearers had we saw them they won a game at the Las Vegas Open.
They won a game.
Look, okay. Demons didn't get that far. Okay, let's give something here. But they definitely got hurt. They definitely got hurt by warp time being Legion locked.
That's where
Because
they're-
like that
that's
was
the
their
only
whole
place you
thing.
saw them was their
I know.
allied detachment. To
I know, and now it's like you have to actually take word bearer possess stuff, and oh man, that's harsh. All right, so we'll just throw them there as far as cash regions go.
$10 super chat from Lyle Dixon. Paying for 2 armies. The people who are here to hear about Tau versus Knights debate don't keep us waiting any longer. We can bump it up. What do you want to start with?
I'm gonna tell you why Knights are better than Tau.
Well, where do you want to put Knights?
I'm gonna put Knights at C tier.
All right. C tier. Why should Knights be at C tier?
Knights are at C tier because their win rate is actually not that bad. It's very hard to 5-0 with Knights. However, Pure Knights did win a GT after Drukari came out with Drukari at the event.
Did they play against the Drukari player?
One. I think they played one Drukari player. But Knights can, especially if you go heavy on more X's and like lightning locks and just like you're spamming strength 7 and 6 multi-damage weight of fire, that actually kills Drukari very well.
And especially with the
And as soon as the
fire racks.
Exactly.
And
And that was before
shooting.
Yeah. I think across the board, across all players, Knights are not that hard to go 3-2, 4-1 with. The 5-0 mark is very difficult to hit. I acknowledge that. But also the 0-5 mark is very difficult to hit. You know, like normally like everything is kind of on the spectrum. I feel like Knights are just kind of really taking the middle. Where you're not going this low, you're not going this high very often. Most people aren't going to hit these extremes. There's a lot of Knights in the middle. And for that reason, like, again, I don't think Knights are going to go win a 3-day event in the next year. But I still feel like they're not a bad army. We've shown the Megaras and, you know, the Armigers on stream. We need, frankly, that's not even the best build. The Armigers are the better build. I've played against them, and like honestly, like I played GT, and the closest game I had was against Pure Knights, and I was like, man,
This is when you were playing Drukari.
this is when I was playing Ultramarines.
Ultramarines?
Yeah, this was the Ultramarines. The closest game I had was against Pure Knights, and I was like, man, this is, and it was round 1, and it like actually really sucked. I was like, man, why is this happening at 8 in the morning? No, I think Knights are better than people give them credit for. I don't think that they're very good at winning events, but I think that they can hit that 3-2, 4-1 mark very consistently.
I think they're one of the top factions to be hurt the most by terrain.
That's true. They're very terrain dependent.
Very terrain dependent.
I think of ruins with windows in them, like ACO style. I think Knights are pretty good there. I think, you know what, honestly, I'm wondering, those GW like ruins that they've shown off, Knight can go touch that and literally just look it down, because those things didn't have like floors.
They were really mostly like 2 levels at most.
Yeah, it was
They
like
weren't
2
that
levels
high.
at most, and they were like 4 or 5 inches tall, which is great for hiding, you know, like a Vanguard veteran behind. But like if a Knight like walks up, he's gonna just look down and be like, "Oh, buenos dias, here's a Radcon there." I don't know. I'm not saying Knights are amazing. I think Knights are upper C tier. I think Knights are better than Blood Angels. I would rather play Knights to an event than Blood Angels.
All right.
That's where I'm putting them.
Let's go ahead and drag Knights over.
Drag the Knights in. For the record, Chaos Knights and Knights, putting them in the same spot.
Chaos Knights have interesting tricks.
They
like
do.
being-
They're better Armigers, worse Big Knights. And I think 2 Big Knights is the optimal spot, personally. Because one gets forward and the other gets rotated, and you don't have to worry about getting baited out at that point.
Yeah.
Like 2 Megaras and more Axes and Warglaives feels to me like the best play. And I think
more
Chaos
stuff helps.
Knights is
Helps
just
big time.
you drop 1 Big Knight and add a couple more Armigers. And you just overcharge their guns and you do crazy damage for 2 turns before you kill yourself and overheats. But I think they're both in C tier though. Still, I think Knights are not bad. And honestly, you know, now that I'm saying this, I'm like, when we see what these armies go, I may be tempted to argue for Knights in B tier, but right now I'm going to put them top of C tier.
All right. Tau.
I also want Tau in C tier.
I think Tau are in B tier. I think they have matchups into S tier armies.
Yeah.
And for that reason alone, they have
matchups into Drukari.
I think they have a matchup into Mech as well.
Ooh, bold and spicy words.
And the reason is, well, once again,
Okay.
they have one of the easiest ways for dealing with Iron Striders. Mass missile pods with reroll wounds, very likely hitting on 2s against one of those units.
Yeah, you can definitely.
You
kill
can
this
pick
one
up
there.
you can pick up their shots.
Mhm.
Now, most of the lists that we're seeing for AdMech right now are pure Lucius.
Yeah.
There aren't as many Mars lists, and not having Wrath of Mars is a huge deal against Tau because there's no easy way to whittle down the Crisis unit. Because honestly, it's going to take a lot of ranger shots to get through there. With
Yeah.
them being T5 and ignoring AP1 and 2, and then taking 2-ups against that, it's very likely you'll pop if they
I
put
feel
everything
like
in
the
there.
number
You
of
pop.
shots just kills you. I feel like the weight of fire.
Winning on 5s really isn't great.
It's not great.
Most people are not also taking artisans, but even if they are, you're wounding on 4s, rerolling 1s to wounds.
Wounded on 4s, that's... I mean, if you're just hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s, or rolling 1s that hit and wound, you're still putting like 40-something saves on the unit. That's from one unit. Like that, like what? You're not passing 40 something wounds off to drones. That means that you're gonna kill the dude who's ignoring AP 1 and 2, and then the rest of the unit's gonna be like, oh crap. Like the first like 20, like 24, 25 saves probably kills the ignore guy, and then you take 15 more.
Now the other thing is the Tau also have a lot of mobility.
They do.
I think what you actually end up doing is dropping the Riptide, adding more missile cold stars, and being able to get the angles and a couple more Remoras, so that you can get the angles and shoot into the other two Ranger Orks that don't have the defensive buffs. I think Tau have the mobility to play against the top armies, and I also think they have the damage potential.
Here's the question on how we're doing this tier list.
Yeah.
Are we doing it on you playing Tau, or are we ranking Tau as an army? I agree, you playing Tau could be
I'm just saying they can beat a more
number of Admech.
I think if you throw Will Abalez or Ben Neal also into those matchups,
Okay, a couple other Tau players who have had good tournament results.
Yep, I think they can also do reasonably well. I think a lot of people are running absolutely awful Tau lists, and if we're taking Tau as an average faction with like broadsides and stuff without the mobility,
hey, if we're talking broadsides, then drop them to like E or F.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to put them in E or F.
If we're taking the best list, this list is a points factor. You can get about 80 points, 80 to 90 points out of almost any game, out of almost any matchup.
Yeah.
I think that's a real power.
Yeah.
So even on the Dawn of War matchups, where most people have tough secondaries, this Tau list can score a lot of points.
Yeah. There are some good points to the chat, such as the fact that the Vanguard blob bypasses drones.
That's if you auto wound up boars. Yeah, like I'm not passing that off anyway.
Yeah, but like if
I have
they
three
just
models
make
with
that,
2 up armor.
yeah, sure, but if they make that AP1, that just kills a Riptide. Like just kills a Riptide.
Oh, but I'm dropping the Riptide.
All right, dropping the Riptide. Okay, dropping.
I don't think he's good enough anymore.
I don't know. I'm not sold on it, if I'm being honest. I think that, man, I agree Tau can do cool things, but I don't think we rate the faction purely on you playing Tau. Because if we rate the faction on you playing Tau, then frankly, there's nothing below C tier. Even the best Tau list, I think, is like upper C tier at best.
Really?
Yeah. I do. I've played against your list with other people running it, and I got 100 points. I don't know. I'll let you. I'll see if you're gonna put Tau in B tier. Then I want Knights in B tier too. I was fighting for them both in C, but I'm not letting you put Tau ahead of Knights without me putting Knights up there.
Tau have a much more consistent matchup into the armies that are going to be in A and S.
That is true, but also Knights. You're never all right. Knights are never consistent. They're not consistent. Knights are never consistent,
and they're also.
But not consistent also means they sometimes win games they shouldn't.
They should, yeah, but they also have a lower points threshold. Their max points are much lower if they're not tabling somebody.
Yeah, but they're more likely to table someone. So it's.
I don't know. I think the consistency up here of beating these armies puts Tau ahead of Knights. And you could say top of C, bottom of B.
I think they're both in the top of C, bottom of B category.
Right, let's put Tau up there, and we can come back and revisit.
We can come back and revisit as we got more factions down there.
All right. Let's see. Was there another super chat I missed?
I think we're caught up right now. Yeah. So we're good to go. So let's go back to Chaos.
Chaos Space Marines.
So generic Chaos
Space Marines. Okay. So you got Emperor's Children in there. You got Iron Warriors.
Emperor's Children and Iron Warriors have had some soupy success recently, and I get it. Chaos Space Marines is mostly going to be souped, so it's hard to judge it pure. I think Chaos Space Marines is D tier. I think that they are still distinctly below Tau Knights and Blood Angels. Personal opinion here.
What do they do well?
So what do they do well? Emperor's Children force out a ridiculous amount of low AP damage to wounds.
Yep.
Strength 5+1 wound, reroll wounds, pretty reliable hits. Yeah. You do a ton of damage in that one burst. I think Chaos can do a lot of burst damage, but it's very hard to do multiple turns of it because all of their stuff involves putting a bunch of command points and fragile units forward, and usually those fragile units die, and then you don't have command points. We've seen that on stream before.
Yep.
So it's very hard for them to do
psychic powers, which can be inconsistent.
Especially as Mordecai the Witch of Cough Sisters is getting introduced into the game right now. Chaos Space Marines, I feel like they're D tier. I'm willing to put them ahead of Guard, which pains my soul. But I feel like they are notably worse than the 3 armies we have in C tier right now. Emperor's Children have done better, I think are the best Iron Warriors have seen a couple different fringe builds actually do pretty respectable, where they're going like a lot of 3-2, 4-2, 4-1.
And you're seeing a lot
Not a lot of 5-0s though.
It's the Soul Burner Petard Dreadnought.
Yep. And you take the Iron Warrior Demon Engine buffs, and that's honestly pretty good.
It pumps out a ton.
It pumps out a ton of mortals,
and that is actually good into like Ranger breaks.
It is, but it's also short range.
It's short range, so you're
and it's never getting the drop on the Ranger brick. Like in no
it's
universe,
not consistent. No,
not at all. So, yes, Emperor's Children are definitely, a full tier above other Chaos Space Marines. Honestly,
I think they're better than Guard.
I agree. I'm willing to put Chaos Space Marines ahead of Guard as a whole, as an overall faction.
Still D tier though.
Yeah. No, I think so.
I still think they have really tough matchups up here.
Yeah. Solvagon says they can't be ahead of Guard, and that may be because Guard Indirect is so bad for Chaos Space Marines. But I think in the overall scheme, no. I think Chaos Space Marines is actually better. Guard I'm not very sad about Guard right now.
And the Emperor's Children, I think, is honestly the one that's really pulling a lot of.
Oh yeah, Emperor's
Under the Prince.
If Emperor's Children were a Codex supplement instead of part of the Codex, they would be below Guard. But Emperor's Children are carrying that whole sub-faction on their back right now, with Iron Warriors like kind of helping as a training wheel, and the rest of the army is like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
It's... Do we have a separate Emperor's Children one?
We do.
All right, put them up at C. Throw them up there. They are definitely better than other Chaos Space Marines and the Imperial Guard there.
All right, there's the Emperor's Children.
All right, there's the Emperor's Children.
I still think they're worse than Blood Angels.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Emperor's Children do some cool things. We've seen Mark do some good things, but we've also seen them just lose random games where it's like, yeah, my one trick didn't work and I got wrecked.
The other thing is the best builds that you're seeing with them are They were souped with like Mortarion with Warp Time. They were souped with demon stuff. And...
So they became less consistent because they can no longer get an Emperor's Children or a Word Bearer's Friend casting their Warp Time for them. Exactly. They no longer have a Mortarion to tank because if they do, he's not getting Warp Time, so he's ignorable. The rise of Dreadnoughts, in my opinion, makes Emperor's Children really sad.
Yeah. Also, just 2-ups all over.
Yeah, two ups and Dreadnoughts are both terrible for Emperor's Children.
Yeah.
So both of those I'm very comfortable putting Emperor's Children C tier and everything else Chaos Space.
They also don't like transhuman-like abilities because of or -1 damage.
Or -1 hits are also bad because they can only reroll the ones to hit. Yeah.
That's tough. But still, I think they are better than basic Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah. Hold on. We do have a super chat here. We've got a $5 cheer from Kyle Norman. Oh, Kyle Norman, you know how to speak to my heart. We going to White Scars?
Has not played White Scars in a hot minute.
It's true.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been a hot minute.
Tell us where White Scars fit into the meta right now.
Upper A tier. I think that White Scars were S tier for a long time. They had a great run at top. I think that White Scars still have a ton of really cool play. I think that they're like Tyranids in that no matter how bad they are, which they're not actually bad, but no matter how bad Tyranids are, like they have unique mechanics, so they're always going to have a chance. White Scars have that same thing where they've got unique mechanics, but also they're still Space Marines, so like they're not going to be bad. But then also they have unique mechanics within Space Marines that's always going to elevate them to the top because they have more options, more play than your average Space Marine. They definitely have less power than the more recently popular Space Marines. Ultramarines, Deathwatch, Dark Angels, even Black Templars, I think all those have more power than White Scars. But White Scars have the most play, the most tricks, the most options. For me, White Scars are upper A tier. They're a great army. I think they struggled a little bit into the Liquefier Dark Elder, which is what really knocked them down. AdMech, we haven't tested yet, but I feel like White Scars are better than the average Marine chapter in AdMech because incredibly fast Van Vets that can potentially just not be overwatched, are very good at going from you can't see me to I'm touching you and killing you. And they have the perfect stats for killing them. AP 3 damage to reroll wounds is a great counter to Lucius ignoring AP 1 and 2 and the permanent transhuman. So that's very efficient stats for chewing up Ranger bricks, getting the board control. Marines are naturally good at board control because they have Rights of War. For me, White Scars is A tier. I think they're going to end up towards the top of A tier, but bare minimum, I think they're A tier.
Advance and Charge is just one of the best abilities
exactly.
you can have
and
on
the biggest thing is they can fall back and charge, fall back, shoot, advance and charge, advance and shoot. Basically, there's no scenario where the White Scar player is like, yeah, my unit just isn't doing anything. Oh no, you stop me from doing things. Because you don't what? The only thing you can do is trap them in combat. But White Scars aren't exactly bad in combat here, so it's not the best thing.
White Scars are also an army that benefits the more terrain that's on the board.
100%.
More terrain
and
on the board,
feel like terrain.
More pure line of sight.
In general, most people are wanting more terrain right now, and I feel like White Scars benefit from that, especially with the GW terrain being introduced.
Mm-hmm.
That is great White Scar terrain right there. That is amazing White Scar terrain.
Pure
Like
line type
that makes me want to play White Scars as my Marine chapter. Seeing that, I'm like, ooh yeah, 4 line of sight blocking ruins, and I can touch the ruins and still not be seen because there are no windows. Like yeah, 30 van vets, let's go. That's immediately what I see there.
All right. I mean, I don't disagree. I think White Scars are still one of the best armies in the game.
Absolutely, they went down, and also I frankly it wasn't that I didn't think they were competitive. It's most that I've been playing a ton of White Scars for a while, and I wanted to try other things. It's not because I thought White Scars were bad, but I think they dipped a little bit, and then they're slowly starting to go back up because relative value, they're better than other Marines in AdMech.
They also did Plasma Inceptors the best, and Plasma
Inceptors definitely got hammered about. That was a big part of the White Scar play there, 100%. Yeah. But I still think they've got tools, and I think that the Liquefier nerf helps all melee Marine armies, and that's a big deal.
All right, excellent. Where do we want to go now? Let's go. Let's get a Xenos faction.
Drukari, all right.
Drukari.
So Drukari had like a 70 something percent win rate, 72% win rate.
Last weekend.
Then they got nerfed. And
before that they
had a higher one. Then they got nerfed, and now they merely have like a 70+ win rate. So I think no one is going to be surprised that Drukari are going to end up somewhere in S, right? I'm not arguing for A. The question is AdMech versus Drukari, who's on top right now?
I think it comes down to a couple factors. Number one is the amount of terrain on the board. The more terrain favors Drukari.
Yeah, absolutely.
The less terrain favors AdMech.
Yep.
The other thing about it is going to be, in this post-FAQ world, how hard is this Drukari list building around just playing the mission?
Yep.
If they're still trying to do damage with things like Chronos, I think the AdMech has a big advantage into that. If they are not, and they're trying to supremely play the mission, and the terrain is high, I think Drukari still have a favorable matchup into everybody.
I think Drukari's a little weirder because I think we all know that the best AdMech build. It's either pure Lucius or it's pure Lucius with an AdMech like patrol or Outrider, and either way you're taking the same units in it pretty much with your choice of of flare at the end. Like, do you want bombers or infiltrators or ruststalkers or cracks or whatever? But like 80% of this is the same thing. I think Drukari, some people went heavier on Chronos to get around Liquefier nerfs. Some people went heavier on Witch Cults to counter AdMech because it's more ignore for what's more trapping in combat, more good stuff to try to solve AdMech. I actually think Drukari should go ahead of AdMech, which is weird because the last weekend AdMech won 3 events, Drukari won 1, but Drukari still had a higher win rate. And also, the other part of this is the head-to-head. AdMech are really good at killing Drukari, so this is also hard. I think into the overall meta, I favor Drukari. In the head-to-head, it's tough.
The thing is, Drukari plays the mission supremely well. AdMech plays the mission decently well.
Yeah,
they have good board control.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ranger bricks are excellent at holding down objectives.
Yep.
But at the same time, they're not really taking down your primary as much.
That's the thing.
It's quite a bit harder. Drukari are just doing that for fun.
I feel like while I'm getting tabled, it's easier to scrape a win against AdMech than Drukari. Because Drukari mess your mission up so hard. They still hit very hard. Not as hard as before with Liquefier's gun, but they still hit very hard. I'm going to argue for Drukari in S tier, barely out of AdMech.
I agree. I think the more terrain that you put on the board, Drukari has an increasingly better matchup.
And
so
it's really
if you're going to Games Workshop and there's 4 line of sight blockers in the middle that you have no holes or windows, you need to play that extremely carefully.
Yep, absolutely.
Drukari are just like this. I'm home.
Yep, they're there. All right, so up there ahead of AdMech.
I also think
it's a tight one.
Their secondaries are pretty much automatic as well.
Yeah, that's everything. Let us know in the chat how you feel about Drukari over AdMech. I think we can revisit, but I think that a lot of people are going to disagree with that one. But it's close. It's very close. All right.
We got a 10 pound super chat from Matt. Can we hear about the soon to come out codexes, Grey Knights and Thousand Suns, please? Okay.
All right.
Excellent. Let's start. Let's do
Grey Knights.
Let's do Grey Knights.
So, all right. So,
Grey Knights have not had a lot of success in the meta.
Yeah, I still feel like they're better than people think.
They have not had a lot of success, but people are still running Dread Knights, and I am so disappointed in them. David Ozawa, I'm looking at you specifically.
Oh no, David!
Called out.
Calling him out.
Called out on the chat.
Man, okay. So
they have great tools.
They do.
I think they have the best indirect in the game. It's so consistent.
It was. It's not anymore. It's not great into Dreadnoughts. And also,
But you don't need to go
sisters
after, just
like,
kill the board.
am I going to roll a 4-up or a 5-up? JK, you can't shoot.
All right, but we haven't gotten to sisters yet.
I don't know, but they're getting less consistent because more anti-psyker is getting out there.
Yeah.
And the one time you run into that, it's like, oh my god.
At least Astrolabe's an 18-inch power, so you just literally back up.
Yeah, you can back up.
So it's not like a warp time where you have to be right next to the opponent.
Yep.
So it's a little easier to play around to ensure that you get the powers off. But at the end of the day, Grey Knights can put out a ton of mortal wounds.
Yep.
They have great volume of fire shooting all over the place. They can play the mission reasonably well with things like Gate of Infinity.
Yep.
Holding the board is a little tough. Objectives out in the open, not the easiest thing. They still have old transhuman on their units, -1 or -1 wound.
They're also only 1 wound each. So mortal wound spam that's not psychic related decimates them. Like a Stormbolt or Dominion squad, just like hot tip.
Yeah, I mean same thing. Wrath of Mars.
Wrath of Mars is the exact same problem.
They don't. I think they struggle into the S tier armies.
They really struggle into the S tier armies, which is which is okay. Grey Knights are underrated. I agree on that. It's really hard to place them. I think that the GW terrain is great for them because you can
stand in the terrain,
and those line of sight blockers are relatively close to the opponent.
Exactly.
You can get there.
Whereas ACO terrain, I felt like that was a real struggle for them.
That was absolutely.
So they are pretty terrain dependent, in my opinion. They want really good midfield terrain that's pure line of sight blocking. They can just sit in there.
I'm struggling with where to put them. What do you think right now? Are you? They're better than D tier. That's easy.
They're better than D tier. I think they're better than.
Are they B or C? Because I don't think they're A.
The problem is their third secondary is tough.
Yeah.
They're holding primary.
And giving up.
They're very good at getting the 5 points, but after that, it's hard to get 15s unless you're tabling your opponent.
That's the other thing with the primary is that they're very good at going to an empty spot of the table because they have gate and redeploy stuff, but they're not great at going and just charging to get someone off an objective. Like if someone has a unit on the objective, Grey Knights can probably kill them off of it, but they're not going to get anything there themselves. Because what are you going to do? Like try a 9-inch charge from Deep Strike? Like good luck, but that's not a plan. I think they're somewhere in the B or C category. I think they're better than Guard and Chaos Space Marines. I have no problem with that.
I think they're better than Blood Angels, but worse than Knights and Tau.
Okay. I am comfortable putting them in that.
I don't think they score as many points as Tau, and I don't think they do as much damage as Knights.
Yeah.
And don't have the consistency on defense.
That's the thing. They do not have any consistency on defense.
The problem is their profiles are very good into a Horde meta. If it was a Horde meta, Grey Knight stock goes way up. It's a vehicle meta right now, especially with the Marine builds, Drukari Raiders, Admech, Iron Striders. Their weapons aren't amazing into that stuff. They can still do quite a bit of volume, but you need the extra AP from the Chaplain. You might need +6 inch range. Like getting all the factors involved, it's pretty tough. So I don't think they're as consistent as those two factions.
Yeah, so I'm content with between Blood Angels and Knights. That's fine for me.
I think they struggle killing some of the tougher stuff.
Yep. All right, so 1,000 Suns we thinking?
1,000 Suns.
You have to consider that their secondary game is really strong because they have the Mutilate Vortex Beast, which is a great Wallaby stand.
Great Wallaby
stand.
Mark Perry.
Okay, but actually,
all right. Typically, that pure 1,000 Suns is just something we don't see very often. And
never. They're an ally. Yeah. And it's awkward because yes, they're about to get a new book, and hopefully that does some favors for the action.
Same for Grey Knights.
And so don't put too much stock in the current rankings.
What do 1,000 Suns do well? Their psychic tree is very strong.
They have tools. They can do a couple of mortal wound spam characters, but once you put those in, it's like, all right, what's next? And it's like, ooh, wow, I actually don't have anything else I want to take.
They can turn off invulns.
Yep.
They have warp times for
ability. Warp time on the 1,000 Suns units now. They have some good things.
And they, Rubric Brick, it's pricey. It's still only 1 wound, but you can put a lot of defensive buffs on that and hold down objectives reasonably well.
Yeah.
Decently well?
Decently well.
Get some points out of it.
Not incredibly excited about it, but decently well.
But really, it's their psychic powers. Like the Terminators are overcosted. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I think they're worse than Emperor's Children for sure.
Yeah, I think 1,000 Suns are going in D tier.
Chaos Space Marines. I mean, I feel like they have more tools than these two factions.
All right, we can put them at the top of D tier.
I think they have more tools than I think they play the mission a bit better than Guard.
So you're putting them ahead of Chaos Space Marines? See, that's the thing. I think 1,000 Suns are worse than Chaos Space Marines.
Well, I think if we pull Emperor's Children out,
all right,
I think they're better than the other ones.
All right, that's fair. So yeah,
because the psychic tree is so powerful.
Yeah, we can keep them below Emperor's Children, but ahead of the other ones. So top of D tier for 1,000 Suns.
Yeah,
I'm content with that.
I mean, they just don't have the consistency.
No, they do mortal wounds, and if your opponent doesn't care about that, it's like, well, that was my thing.
They can do a lot of mortals.
They can do they do a lot of mortal wounds.
A lot of
mortals.
Target
like
mortals.
If you have any, just a couple random Deny the Witches, anything that's immune to mortals, which is becoming more popular, or immune to psychic, I should say, which is becoming more popular. It's like it's really hard.
Yeah.
To deal with that.
They don't play Zangors are still actually a reasonably decent troop choice as well. Like Dark Matter Crystal is a good tool to have. Like they're not without any having actual tools. So I think top at D for now.
Yeah, is
a reasonable spot.
Lyle Dixon's putting a $5 super chat in there. There's a bit of a debate raging in the comments right now about Blood Angels because they have gotten some podium spots. Jack Harpster may disagree with us. He just won an RG2 with Blood Angels. Yeah. But Lyle says that Blood Angels do not get podium spots. Junior gets podium spots. And he's referring, of course, to Junior Leahy, who has been doing very well on the West Coast.
Yep.
I think he's a great player, but I still don't think that's the Blood Angels that's doing it. I need to see someone else do it with Blood Angels to believe that the Blood Angels are the reason here.
They need to be
Junior has done well with multiple factions. We've seen him done well with Knights, but Knights were not a popular army. We're seeing him do well with Blood Angels. Blood Angels aren't a popular faction. Great for Junior. I don't see it for Blood Angels. I think if he just switched from Blood Angels to Space Wolves or White Scars or 5 other Space Marine chapters I could run off right now, I think he'd be winning events instead of podiuming then. So no, I'm not falling for it. Blood Angels are staying below Grey Knights for me.
The other thing that's risky about podiuming is that you lose early, you sweep up a bunch of factions that you actually have advantages up against.
Yep.
Then you end up finishing 4-1, and it looks good.
That's true. He did the event he 4-1 got second place. He did lose round 1, so that's a very different path than a 4-1 who loses on the top table. It's a very different thing there, even though he got second. Not to take anything away from 4-1 is a great result. But
we gotta see super majors matter.
Super majors matter too. I needed that at the event.
Tau had better placings in super majors than Blood Angels.
Yeah, or better than Knights too. Fine.
But that matters. That matters.
That matters a lot. There's winning GTs. There's super major finishes. It all comes.
When you're not just playing your local meta and where you're the best player and you're playing against other top players, what happens?
Yeah. So for me, Blood Angels are not cutting it. Let's see here. What are we thinking next?
Let's do another Xenos faction.
Another Xenos faction? Tyranids? Oh god, don't make me do it. Alright.
Tyranids doing well for a while.
Tyranids are super weird. Yeah. They've won GTs relatively recently. I think that they have a turbo bad matchup into AdMech. AdMech are insane.
Well, just talk about the archetype of Tyranids.
Okay, so the archetype of Tyranids is basically Kraken Swarmlord, a patrol of Chronos shooting, and choose your fast unit that the Swarmlord is thrown around. And then you fill points with gaunts and bullcrap to just try to play the mission. That's so hard. Tyranids are...
It was already...
It's very uphill because Tyranids have one thing. And they are good at that one thing. But when people solve it, it's a big problem. They're honestly, they're the best army in the game at the thing they do. Because no one else is moving 40 inches and charging right now. That is Tyranids. No one else does that. But raiders and transports are really hard for them. Now the liquefier nerf helps a lot, and I think Tyranids theoretically can beat Drukari, but they're not getting 50% of those games. AdMech I think is super bad. One of our Art of War coaches, Alex McDougall, has been having an absolutely murderous time against AdMech with Tyranids, and Alex is a very good player. He's beaten me multiple times, so Alex is fantastic, and AdMech are giving him nightmares right now, both in TTS and in person, where it's a huge problem for Tyranids. Where the Demon against, when Laz Chickens, which is just 48-inch range, you don't hide out of line of sight with that because you don't benefit from obscuring. You don't hide out of range of that because it's 48 inches. The second AdMech gets a shooting phase, every Demon on the board is dead. Every single one. So it's wow, I may actually take the Demon and if not, what are you taking?
And then you weaken yourself up in other matchups.
Yeah, and Gene Stealers are not bad into AdMech because it's a bunch of weight of attacks without rerolls.
They're not Ranger bricks, and if they just overload an objective,
yeah, then it's am I actually getting through?
You have to ignore Overwatch against them too.
I would have put Tyranids at B tier. I think they're C. Alright, here's the thing. I think they're ahead of Knights. Our Tyranids versus Tau right now. Head to head, I think favors Tau a little bit.
We did play that matchup on stream.
Yeah, I think it favors Tau.
I think it favors Tau.
But the overall meta,
I think the one thing, so Tau have a very good secondary, an amazing secondary game, and Tyranids have a very good primary game.
I think Tyranids secondaries got easier because Rod is easier than Scramblers, and they were frequently forced to take Scramblers because they would use lifters and stuff for that. Stranglehold is just better than Domination, so easier.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think they have decent secondaries. It's just the staying power of playing a 5-turn game is the problem.
I was going to go with the defense of the list, the staying.
Yeah, Tau have more defense.
And they can stay on the board against some of the best armies in the game, whereas if you make, Tyranids are even more punishing when you make the mistakes, and then if you're running those two, the Demon Karens, there are some matchups that are just very difficult if you go second.
Yeah.
So, for that reason,
you want them below Tau?
I would put them right below Tau.
I can't.
I think
I don't have a strong argument against it.
I think they play the mission better than armies because they can deny primary.
They can, and like we've seen Eric Lethers do very well with them as well in Australia with a mostly Tyranid Force the Hive Mind list. They have cool things, but it requires they're with Tau where
they need a couple
the average Tyranid list is in such a bad state right now, and you need to be one of those great, like top 10 and like WTC tier to be playing that army with success, like with real success right now. And those are the only people who can do it right now is the thing.
Yeah.
So Tyranids, unfortunately, they rely on skew lists and good matchups, or you gotta seriously outplay your opponent. I think Admech's only making it harder.
All right, Death Guard. Back to chaos.
Death Guard are weird because a lot of times we see them as kind of a punching bag, but also they do put up results.
They are a points factory army.
They're a points factory army. They can go 4-1 very frequently, and if you put enough 4-1s together, one of them's going to go 5-0. And like a lot of players have gotten top placings with Death Guard. They've done well. A lot of I don't really worry about Death Guard much, but also like the results are just not saying that they're bad. The results are saying that they're by far the best thing Chaos has right now. But then again, at Super Majors, ACO, there was no chaos. There was no Death Guard in the top 30. So for me, Death Guard I think their ceiling is B tier. I'm sorry, their floor is B tier. Are they pushing into the bottom of A? Maybe. I don't think so. Got some comments about the Terminus Est right there.
It is actually good. Poxwalkers are really powerful.
Yeah.
However, Admech has just introduced a unit, just like Necron Warriors.
Yep.
These 20-man Scutauri bricks, they force a particular type of firepower and way of dealing with, which happens to also be amazing into Poxwalker.
If I figure out how to kill 20 Rangers, I can kill 40 Poxwalkers for the same effort. Yeah. And suddenly Poxwalker spam does not feel as good. And the ranged output of that suddenly does not feel nearly as good.
So, I think Death Guard are a very consistent army. In terms of the points that they score. They can pretty much score, around 80 plus points without having to worry what your opponent's doing.
Yeah.
Because they just hold down their side of the board. Their lack of speed is a big problem.
It's the killer. Is
their lack of speed, and most people, even though the Palpalites one's very powerful, at the end of the day, most people
figured out how to get around it.
Exactly.
Like, everyone's been gotcha'd by it, and they'd be like, wow, this really sucked. I just lost an entire bench unit. But now it's like, you know what? I figured out my play. I put a fight last in. I figured out how to win the game by ignoring it, and it stopped being as effective. So for me, Death Guard is going to go somewhere in B tier. And actually, we don't have anything in B tier right now, so I don't really have to worry about where in B tier they are. But I don't think Death Guard is as good as the A tier armies because I think that the S tier stuff is bad for them. Drukari actually that play the mission thing if they can't kill the Death Guard. I think Death Guard actually have some very interesting playing to Drukari. I think Admech hose Death Guard straight off the table.
We found that out real quick.
Yeah, like
Nick didn't know, but
he found out. So I don't think I think Death Guard's gonna end up in the very top of B tier. We may, after we see it, maybe we'll push them to the bottom of A, but right now I'm feeling B.
Their other strength is that they can abuse the bodyguard keyword as well.
They can, but they don't have. But their bodyguards are slow and they don't have dynamic characters.
No, but it helps with ensuring their primary game.
It does, but that's never their problem. Right? It's like if they can get a Terminator unit within 3 inches of an objective, they're going to get the objective anyway.
I mean, I'm saying on terrain that has a lot of
it matters.
Once again, Death Guard favor having more terrain. I think like you said, I think Tau actually have a really consistent matchup into Death Guard. However,
Overall,
if you're just taking Death Guard players, they are much more consistently doing 5 and or 4.
yeah, they're having much more consistent
than Tau.
I'm actually. I don't know if I want them bottom of A or top of B. Let's put them in B because we don't have anything in B, but there's a 50% chance that that Death Guard ends up at the bottom of A tier by the time I'm done here. I think they're because I'm really not sure where they go.
The other thing I'd say is they're the best chaos faction.
They are the best chaos faction, 100%.
In my mind.
Right now they are. Now we don't know what Bellicor is going to do because those
we
rules
don't know
aren't out yet.
we don't know.
But right now Death Guard are definitely the best of chaos. All right, we going back to the Imperium for Custodes.
The Adeptus Custodes.
Custodes are weird.
Great strategy support.
Great strategy
Amazing
support,
strategy
good
support.
units. They feel super meta dependent. Because they fluctuate a lot with the results they're getting.
Yeah.
Like we've seen them go 5-1 at super majors. We've seen them like win small events.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen those same 5-1 players go like 3-2.
Yep.
It's weird. Custodes are in a weird spot. I'm inclined to put them in B tier. I don't think they're A tier. I just think that they don't play the bodies game right now, the MSU game, very well. And I think that there's just a couple things that are too hard on them.
I also think the Dreadnoughts not getting OPSEC is a huge deal. I think that would help them a lot.
Yeah, their Dreadnoughts are like the core of their most popular builds, but the Dreadnoughts aren't OPSEC. And they really struggle with the bodies.
Like it really is the strategist. Tanglefoot's an amazing tool to have. Turning off rerolls, -1 strength with Shadow Keepers. All of it is just very powerful. If you have the Terminators ignoring AP 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They don't like Mortal Wounds.
No. And Mortal Wounds are they're
Sisters and Admech.
Sisters and Admech about mortals. Like the more recent codexes all feel like huge problems. The last 3 feel like huge problems for.
When Liquefier is getting nerfed, you're seeing more of the
but like
Hellions
liquefiers weren't the problems. Yeah, liquefiers weren't the problem for Custodes.
No, they weren't the problem for Custodes, but them being gone is opening up new builds where people are more increasingly running Hellions and stuff, and those flybys are very annoying for Custodes.
Yes. I'm feeling B tier. I think I can put him below Death Guard. Their secondary game is not that strong, and their primary game's decent, but they're not good at keeping the other players' score down at all. No, they don't have enough screens to stop. They don't have trading pieces. They don't have enough screens to stop people from getting easy secondaries. They don't move fast enough, other than the bike squad, which gets focused out immediately, to stop other people from primary. I feel like they're B.
I think Chaos being in a bad spot has helped Custodes because they did not like those smite spam armies.
Are you feeling above or below Death Guard? Because I'm leaning below.
I think below.
I think below is okay.
It's the secondary game. The Death Guard has a much more consistent secondary game. They can very easily get 40 secondary points.
Yeah, I agree.
Without
the secondaries are, and that's just having
Custodes
ninth edition secondaries. Having Codex secondaries helps a ton.
And that's why Custodes really want allies. At the end of the day, just cheap allies.
Yeah,
help them out. Let us do an Eldari faction. Harlequins.
You thinking Harlequins?
Yes.
Harlequins is interesting.
They had a very high win rate for a long time.
They did. I think they were A tier the last time we did this. They had a high win rate. They are a good army. I feel like they are Wish.com Drukari right now. And I think that they're going B tier.
They don't play the mission as well as Drukari.
No. The range game is hard.
Units than Drukari.
And Drukari being so popular means everyone's like, I need to be able to kill 6 raiders a turn. And if I see Star Weavers across the table, I'm like, oh, okay, this is the same thing, just 6 wounds.
Yeah.
4 pinful, 6 wounds versus, Ampty 5.
-1 to hit.
-1 to hit, but a Star Weaver is not harder than a raider to kill. And for me, it's an immediate like, okay, well, I guess I'll just kill this. And with everyone gearing up for Drukari, I feel like Harlequins went down in value a lot.
Say the other thing is transports become increasingly popular, and
it makes Harlequins,
even though they have the bikes, the bikes are inconsistent, and so are fusion pistols.
Yeah, and the same thing, the things that kill raiders murder the bikes.
Yep. Same with the Dreadnought heavy.
Same with the Dreadnought heavy builds. Yeah, I think Harlequins are B. I think they're below Death Guard.
Yeah, I think they're above Custodes.
You think above Custodes?
I think they're above Custodes. They have more cheap trading pieces, and they actually can deny primary very, very well.
Okay, I'll put them above Custodes.
They have a double move psychic power.
Yep.
They have the ability to go back into reserve, come down.
They have a lot of cool
tricks. Domino Shroud. They have a lot of cool tricks. You fall back from them. They move closer to you. I think they have enough things. -6-inch range is also very powerful into a lot of factions.
Yeah.
And -1 to wound, of course. So
yeah, they've got good things. I think they're just a step below some of the armies we're going to be putting in A tier.
yeah.
So yeah, let's put in B tier in between the Drukari and the Custodes. That feels fine for me. Let's see. Any requests in the chat so far?
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, we've got some back and forths about Harlequins. Some people saying A tier, some people saying they're below Death Guard for sure. Yeah, I think
Let's do a Space Marine.
let's throw Space Marine. We got to.
All right.
Let's grab Imperial Fist real quick. This is fast.
Real quick.
All right, real quick. I think that they're worse than Blood Angels. Let's start with that.
I think
that they're incredibly one-dimensional for Space Marines, and like, sure, you can take an Imperial Fist army and put Vanguard veterans in it, but there's no reason to be Imperial Fist if you're doing that. Imperial Fists, in my opinion, are the worst Space Marine. I think that they're still like the worst C tier army. I think they're worse than Emperor's Children, but I don't think that they are going into D tier.
They still have Rights of War.
They're still just Space Marines.
They still have Rights of War.
They're still just Space Marines.
And that gets you to C tier,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I think Rights of War alone is that powerful. Just having it on all your core units.
Yeah.
Now, their stock could increase in a Horde heavy meta, but
Sure,
still,
but like,
it's increasing over some of this stuff.
yeah, and does
But
it
honestly,
actually?
really,
They're worse than Blood Angels. I have no problem with that. I think they're below Emperor's Children.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think they're better than Thousand Suns because at the bottom of the day, they're still Space Marines and they play the mission reasonably well. They have all the Space Marine tools.
They have decent secondary access. They have
They
cool
still shoot a
things.
decent amount.
All the good Space Marine stuff Imperial Fists have. They just don't bring much other than I ignore cover and my bulk ones are a little better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm alright with that. All right.
Let's do. Let's see.
Matt Laura is asking if we can get a Word Bears versus Imperial Fist game. 100%. It's certainly possible. We do, of course, do the subscriber request matches every month where the top 2 donors get to choose a matchup for the next month. And as a matter of fact, I should point out that today is June 30th, the last day of the month. So, now's a good time for it.
Deathwatch.
Deathwatch. All right, let's get Deathwatch in there.
It's an army that has a very low win percentage.
It is.
Shockingly.
I
And that
feel
is
like they're
because
so good.
I feel
But I
like when
think
you
it's
take
one to
aggregate,
hold.
you take aggregate data,
Yeah.
and all the fluffy loyal Deathwatch players are running things like Corvus Black Stars.
Yep.
If you really run the straight power, they have some of the best relics and warlord traits in the game. Period.
They do.
Tome of Ectoclades is
so
a
amazing.
theme. The
I think they have the best relics of the Space Marine
what is it? The
chapters.
Volcarp.
Vorkan Pattern Auspicator is
Plus
meta
one hit
dependent,
takes
but
like
right
4
now
to
it's
fly.
great.
If
It's
there is
fair.
one faction that's at the top that is fly, I'm taking it.
100%. It's a
that
great relic. I take it to them. I'm not gonna
Being
fall.
able to take their stratagem support is
Yeah.
also pretty solid.
They
Being
have
able to
good
switch into white
stratagems,
scars. And they also have a very strong secondary game because armies like Drukari are up at the top.
Yep.
And you get 50.
And also their doctrine manipulation helps them a lot.
Yep.
With getting some of the more obscure Space Marine ones. Deathwatch, I feel are very good, but the win rate straight up doesn't show it.
Yeah.
They had 11th place at ACO. I recently won a 42-person GT with Deathwatch. The potential's there. My gut is to say A tier, below White Scars. However, when you look at the faction overall, and again, it's the question, are we talking about Richard Seaver on Tower? Are we talking about Tower? Are we talking about the Deathwatch list that is Dreadnought spam with infantry bikers? Or are we talking about Deathwatch overall? Because most Deathwatch armies are trying to take the unique elements of Deathwatch, and that's not very good. And we're going to have the same conversation when Space Wolves come out.
Yeah.
Because, like, actually comparing Space Wolves to the Space Wolf successors that Jaime runs is a very different question. I don't know what to do with Deathwatch. I love them. I think that they're one of the best Space Marine chapters when you play this exact specific list. When you play the Dreadnought list, I think they're one of the best things in the game. They're so crazy. They do so much damage. They have good mission play. They do everything you can want. They're fantastic. They can deploy on the line, take a punch, go second, go first. It doesn't matter. What do you do with them?
I think
They're not lower than B plus.
no.
They're not.
I think they're better than all three. Of
I
these.
think they're better than the 3 armies we currently have in B tier. But shoot, it's hard.
Their mobility is basically popping white scars on their bike units, and they have 3 of
Yeah,
those.
they're fast and they can do the same thing.
Yes, but at the same time,
Yeah,
you also need things to hold objectives. They don't have a lot of stuff.
they don't have a ton of stuff, but I mean, you've got like dreadnoughts are good at holding objectives.
They don't deny primary as well as white scars.
No, they're denied primaries. I'm going to shoot you off of it.
Up top, I think they struggle into AdMech personally. We got to see that game where, yes, Jack rolled below average. I rolled above average on the Iron Strider turn, but he wasn't killing 7.
No.
He was crazy thinking he would kill 7.
Yeah. They're below S tier. That's not a question.
No, but I'm saying in terms of, where they're going to be. I think they have a worse matchup into Admech than White Scars do. And
Probably, yeah.
I think they have a better matchup into Drukari. Because they can keep the distance more easily.
Deathwatch into Drukari is fun times to be a Space Marine.
Exactly.
I've done that a couple times.
So,
I have gotten complaints.
It's a little bit of a wash there. So I think just because...
Are we going with, are we ranking Deathwatch by the top tier Deathwatch list, we think? The Dreadnought Heavy and Bikers?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I'm thinking lower A tier.
We'll put them at the bottom of A for now.
Yeah, so below White Scars.
Below White Scars. We'll see where the other Space Marine chapters lie.
Yeah.
But they are an extremely efficient Space Marine chapter. And I do think that they are much better on lighter terrain, though. I think on
100%.
pure line of sight blocking, they're actually going to struggle big time.
Yeah, because the one Dreadnought build is very... That's their thing. If you take away the Dreadnought build, I feel like they're going to struggle a lot.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a Xenos faction. Orks.
Orks? All right. We're going to keep Orks quick because they're about to come out.
They're about to come out. And
Orks have had some good results despite my...
Rich Kilton.
Rich Kilton has done
GT.
well. I think he won a GT with him.
Yep.
Seth Oster's put together a couple good showings. The Stompa, I think a Stomp heavy list went... Did it go 5-1 at ACO or did it hit? Was it a high... Or maybe it was like 4-1-1.
I don't think it was 5.
I don't think it was 5-1. Orks... I'm not going higher than C. And I could be convinced on D. I don't think Orks are very good right now because I think that...
That is just so firepower heavy.
Yeah, and Orks get blown away. They're
just
so
get
fragile.
annihilated.
Like, everyone's like, all right, I'm going to make sure I can kill this many Raiders a turn. Oh, wow, I guess I can just accidentally kill twice as many Buggies a turn. Right? Like, if I'm gearing up to kill 5 Raiders a turn, I will kill 10 Buggies in one turn.
Yeah.
Without even blinking.
I mean, Guard can do it.
Guard can do it. Are they D?
So
They've had some good
I think
showings.
they're worse than Talon Tyranids.
Yes. I think they're worse than Talon Tyranids. I think they're worse than Knights. I think they're worse than Grey Knights.
I think they're worse than Grey Knights. They certainly are not
Yeah.
mirror matchup.
I think they're worse than Emperor's Children.
Yeah. I think
I'd be willing to put them ahead of Imperial Fists, but I think they're worse than Emperor's Children.
I don't know. I think Imperial Fists also.
Sure, but I mean, if we're talking head to head, yes, but that's not the only.
It's not the
not
only
just head to head,
consideration.
especially in S tier, head to head matters a lot, but
I
in
still think
C
basic
tier
Marines
are just all better than
are
Orcs.
just better than Orcs.
All right, are you thinking D tier then? I'm willing to put them ahead of Thousand Suns, and even though they lose to Guard, I think they're better than Guard as a faction overall.
Yeah. I think they play the mission better than them.
Okay, let's go D tier. Oh, you're thinking top of D or
Yeah.
bottom? Let's go top of D. We have a lot of C tier right now.
I just am not impressed by Orcs.
Nope, I am not either.
Every time I play them,
Every
it's
time
like
I
all
see
gone.
them, yeah.
They just don't have enough stuff to play. Like, you're running big 30-man boys bricks, everybody's gearing up for 20-man Ranger bricks that are a heck of a lot tougher.
Yep. Yeah, everyone
Just
can
not
kill hordes right
surviving.
now. We'll see what T5 does, right? Like, we're getting a new Orc Codex, so don't despair. Like, they're probably
Yeah.
not going to be
It's
D
fine
tier in a
being-
month.
It's
but,
fine being here and coming up here.
Yeah, they may go up to A or B or even
They
S.
go up here.
We have no idea what's in the book, so we'll see. Okay. You thinking demons?
Let's do demons.
Demons are hard. They had a good spot early on in night with especially the Slanesh Rush.
Slanesh Keeper Rush.
Did really well.
There weren't as many guns then.
There were not as many guns then, and people hadn't mastered screening, and getting stuck in combat was terrifying. I feel like the damage output that has increased in the game has left demons in the dust.
Yeah.
And people have been gearing into heavier damage armies, less
And
just
range
cutesy-
damage.
Yeah, and range damage, and I think demons are in a rough spot right now. I think they're about Orc tier.
So, I mean, I think the Slanesh build is by far still the best. The Slanesh.
I think
start with the core. Some keepers.
Slanesh is the best.
Some of the demon
Yep.
heads, and then whether you add in mortal spam to that, or whether you just go and run as many bodies, whether you get some pink horrors for more board control, whatever it is, I think that is the best archetype that they have.
Sure.
The corn units are terrible. The Nurgle units
Are so slow.
they're slow. They are there to protect psychic spam.
Yeah, I still feel like Pink Horrors do it better because you get summoning shenanigans. Zinja's not bad within the context of demons. Slanesh is pretty decent. Nurgle and Korn, I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like, we've seen the Beast of Nurgle list have some popularity, but I feel like the shift between AdMech Sisters and Marines is just brutal for them. I think they had a place in the meta, but, and you know, Salvagon's calling it out right now. We tried Marines into Beast and Nurgle spam after Nick got really excited about it. Oh god. There were games that we didn't stream that were much worse than the games we did. Yeah. Where and that's the Ultramarine, the first draft of the Ultramarine list before AdMech even existed killed 18 plague drones in turn 1 through a 4 pinball. I was like, oh, okay. It's like that is not tolerable for a faction. You can't have a plan that's literally walk up and be tougher than my opponent can kill if there's too many things in the game that just say, nope, you're not. And AdMech Space Marines, frankly, I think Sisters are gonna do the same thing, or just like, no, you're not as tough as you think you are. So for me, Nurgle, not it. I'm feeling D. I'll put him ahead of Thousand Suns. Put him ahead of Chaos Space Marines.
You think they're worse than Orks or better than Orks?
That's a good question. I think they're better than Orks. I also think they're better than Imperial Fists, though.
I think Demons are better than Imperial Fists. I think they can get close enough to the,
I think they're better than Imperial Fists.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as Emperor Children, though. I think they're in between. Are we putting the gods in individually?
I mean, we could.
Let's do it. Put Khorne at F. Let's just... Yeah, Slaanesh, I think, is between Emperor's Children and Imperial Fists. I'm okay with that.
Because these two ally.
Yeah, ally
very often.
I think Khorne is literally at the bottom.
Absolute trash.
I think Nurgle and Tzeentch are D, but I think Tzeentch is better than Nurgle. I think Nurgle's better than Thousand Suns, I think. Because yes, like they have a couple hard counters, but the Beast and Nurgle build can do things.
Yeah.
I'd say we put Tzeentch ahead of Orks, though. I think the Tzeentch stuff still has some play, even if it's not great.
It's the shenanigans on the primary.
Yeah.
It's really the only thing that they have.
Yep, and Mortal Wounds are
still very good.
Mortal Wounds and shenanigans on primary is better than Thousand Suns just in Mortal Wounds without shenanigans.
Okay. Right. I'm okay with that. Let us do another Space Marine chapter.
Alright. Grab one for me.
Salamanders.
Ooh, Salamanders are hard. Salamanders, Brad loves them. I don't love them. I feel like they do Melt-A-Guns and that's it. I mean, I guess they do Flamers too. They're a Marines, they're not bad. I think they're going to end up in B tier. I think they're solidly worse than White Scars and Deathwatch by a margin. I think they're worse than Death Guard too, to be honest. I would say they're probably in the B tier category.
I don't know. They're slow. You saw this last.
They are slow.
Played Salamanders.
They are. They can be slow. I mean, you can build fast units in like you can in any Marine chapter, but they're inherently slow. It's not what they do well.
Impulsors not being a thing.
Are you suggesting them in C tier, or what are you thinking? Because they're not an A.
No, I think baseline Marine. I think they're better than Custodes because I think they're better than Custodes. Yeah. I think they're worse than Harlequins though.
I agree.
Honestly, Harlequins play the mission supremely well.
I'm perfectly comfortable.
And they have so many tricks. Salamanders don't have tricks; they do damage.
And Salamanders did just get a third place. Brad has done well with Salamanders, one of our war coaches. They're not bad. That's B tier. Like a B tier army can top 3 a GT easily. We see it like a B tier army can consistently top 3 a GT. Like if I'm looking at the results over the month, they're going to pop up in the top 3 at least once, maybe more. A C tier army is one where when they top like 3 an event, I'm actually paying attention. Like if someone like shows me like a BCP screenshot and Custodes or Death Guard or Harlequins or Salamanders are in a top, in like in the 4-1-5-1 category, I'm not gonna be shocked by that. If they win the event, I might be interested enough to look, especially if they're big names there. But like if Salamanders won a GT and there's like a good player playing, I'm like I'll sit down and read that. But top 3, like this is not a surprise. So I think Salamanders are perfectly fine in B tier.
Ynnari.
Oh, hold on. No, I have to address this. Wasted Mind is saying that Salamanders have cheese with an impulsor to allow people to disembark and charge. No, they absolutely do not have that. If you play in Texas, they might play it that way. They don't do that. That's not legal.
All right, Ynnari, John. A faction we don't see.
A faction you don't see very often. we saw Naden do some cheeky things with it. Mark has said the word Ynnari out loud, but I haven't seen him play in a very long time.
Yeah.
I am not high on Ynnari. Spoiler alert there. They're not escaping. Are they bottom of C or top of D? Like they're still Eldar, and they're hard to rank because honestly, Dark Eldar stat lines without advance and charge with always fight first. That's not a 4-tier drop, right? It's just that when you compare them to Dark Eldar, I'm like, what? Just take them as Dark Eldar, people. I think Ynnari should fall into C tier, but like the very bottom, maybe D tier.
Really?
Maybe D tier.
No, there's no
But
way.
like they're just Drukari stat lines. Drukari stat lines are so good. They're so cheap. You still take 40-point Cabalites and sub 100 Raiders and Succubus. You still take all of that. Like
Alright, so
a different strategy set does not drop them 5 tiers.
So in the same vein as Deathwatch, you ignore all of the specific stuff. You don't take the 300-point end card.
No, you don't take the end card. You don't take like all of the things that make it that. You take a different type of Drukari list, and you're not 4-tier worsts for
So
being
you're just taking a Drukari.
Yeah, I don't.
Basically, a Drukari army that has to use the unit.
As far as I'm concerned, Ynnari Craft World doesn't exist. Ynnari Harlequins don't exist. This is Ynnari Drukari, because that's the only Drukari that has merit.
Alright, so where would you put them?
I'm still putting them C tier.
Where?
The bottom.
The
The absolute bottom. Yeah, the absolute bottom of C tier. And this is literally just Drukari that are also Ynnari. This is not Ynnari.
Drukari that lose some of their best rules, but happen to still be undercosted.
They happen to still be cheap, undercosted. They lose a lot of good things, but they still get some jank. Like Fight First Incubi, like a couple of the things that Sean Naden was taking were actually still pretty good. You lost some things, you gained some things, you could exploit the tools. Like that list is not
like
five.
Yeah.
It's not 5 tiers worse though.
You're gonna have to build like around witches and trapping in combat.
That's exactly what you have to do. But like that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good enough for C tier.
Yeah, that's good enough.
All
right, another Marine chapter.
Another Marine chapter.
Ultramarines.
Ultramarines. Hey, man, I want to put them as S tier because I genuinely believe they are. However, I think they're honestly A tier.
I don't think they have the I think going
They
second is
do
too much
not
of a
have the
drop-off.
consistency. I think I did great going second. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but then you're getting in the 80s.
Yeah, I know. I noticed. I was there. Thank you. I think they're A tier. I think they're solidly A tier. You know, we've had some really good Ultramarine playthings. Not just me. Other people have done well with Ultramarines. They're really jumped up in popularity. They got second out of GT this weekend. They won a GT a little while ago. I've had some great weekends with Ultramarines as well. I think they're a fantastic army.
What are the unique elements of Ultramarines?
They're the best. They're the best Dread army, and Dreadnoughts are really popular right now. They're definitely ahead of Deathwatch because they have the redeploy. They have the most rerolls. They have the most efficiency. They get the Invictors. They get all of the Marine stuff. They do everything Marines do. They get good combat. They get good shooting. They get good tricks. They get good redeploy. They're OPSEC. They have good border control. They do everything very well. They're not as mobile as White Scars. They don't hit quite as hard as Space Wolves, but they hit harder than Deathwatch do in combat. They shoot way harder than Space Wolves and White Scars. Like, Ultramarines do everything better than the average chapter. Where, like, Ultramarines are a better than average speed and combat army, a worse than average shooting army. Ultramarines are above average in every category, even though I don't think that they're the best Space Marine chapter at any of them. But a redeploy is amazing when a good player is using it. The Dreadnoughts are super good in the meta right now. They are by far the best Space Marine shooty list into AdMech. I think not by far, but they're better than Deathwatch because you've got play going second, whereas Deathwatch is like deploy on the line and hope you go first. So if you go second, you get into a shootout where the AdMech Deathwatch are going to lose. Ultramarines can at least play both sides of that. It's hard, man, but I think Ultramarines are A tier and ahead of White Scars Deathwatch.
You think they're ahead of White Scars?
Yes.
Okay.
I would, if I thought that White Scars were ahead of Ultramarines, I would have taken White Scars to ACO. Super Major is the time where I get rid of fatigue and I play what I think is best. I think Ultramarines are the best Space Marine chapter. I know their win rate was very non-reflective of it. I think it's still being dragged down by the fact that they're Ultramarines, and quite frankly, a lot of Ultramarine players are newer players who are still learning the game, picking up the Boy Scout chapter. But Ultramarines have had a lot of good placings. I think Ultramarines are the top of A tier.
All right, there they go.
Yep, that's where I'm putting them. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sticking to my guns here. Ultramarines to the top. What is their chapter tactics? Successors, my guy. Chapter tactics. Successors.
John goes for the melee ones. So
I go with melee ones so my army shoots and punches hard. That matters.
All right, let's do
Necrons? You ready for Necrons?
Let's do Necrons.
Let's do Necrons? Or do you want to get GSD or
Let's do GSC.
GSD? Oh, God help me.
No, actually, let's do Necrons.
Necrons?
Then GSC.
Okay. All right. We're going to disagree on this.
All right. Necrons are an army that received the worst 9th edition codex. That's clear.
I disagree.
You think there's a worse 9th edition codex?
Yes.
What is it?
Blood Angels.
That's not a full codex. They're still
Oh,
basic
okay, fine.
Space Marines.
That's
a supplement.
I think Necrons are better than Blood Angels.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
But I think the Space Marine Codex is better than Necrons.
If we're ignoring supplements, yes, Necrons are the worst.
It's because they're still based off that. Anyway. But their warlord traits are absolute trash fire. Their relics are mediocre outside of the Veil of Darkness.
Yep.
And
they are crutched up by...
Their data sheets are overcosted. They basically have Eternal Conquerors as one of the best traits in the game.
It's propping up the whole codex. If
propping
Eternal Conquerors was gone, I would put them in C tier.
They have, unfortunately,
Inefficient
the meta,
shooting.
Their shooting is terrible. They're basically a combat army, but hits way less hard than other ones. Their shooting units didn't get the buffs that every other book has gotten since then, where all their guns basically got better for no points increase. So they're struggling there. In addition, the meta has not been kind to them. Things like Death Guard are very difficult to deal with because of how durable they are, and the Foulblast one, like they said, if it's a melee army, you're going to struggle against that. There are mortal wounds all over the board now.
Yeah.
There's volume of fire. People are trying to gear up for Scutari bricks. That warrior bricks don't want to hear any of that.
100%.
And then at the end of the day, the secondary changes thin the ranks is brutal. It's like free 15 points now for a Necron army.
Yeah. I think Necrons are gonna fall in B tier. I think that I get it. They're not good, and especially they're boring. I think is the one of their biggest sins is that they're boring and I don't want to say reliable, but they do the same thing. But that OBSEC build that can scout move up, grab board control, not let go of it until they already have a 35 or 40 on primary, a lot of things cannot beat that. And I get it. I'm not even trying to tell you they're A tier. I think Necrons are B tier. They're still cleanly ahead, in my opinion. And the win rate, the event results, Necrons don't bring home a ton of events, but there's a shocking number of those OBSEC builds that go 4-1.
I think they're...
I'm just looking at event results. They get so many more top 8s than any of those C tier armies.
Sure. People are still running the Silent King, even though...
People still are, and I don't think you're going to win an event with the Silent King or with the Tanner with the Warrior Bricks. But I would rather... I don't know. I still see Necrons as... They're a 9th edition codex. They're the worst one. I get it. Put them behind... They're easily behind Death Guard. They're behind Harlequins. I actually think they're ahead of Custodes.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like saying that out loud because I like Custodes. But I think Necrons are still B tier. They're the worst 9th edition book.
I think they're worse
agree.
than Talon Tyranids.
No, I think they're way better than Tyranids. I think they're better than Tau. I get it. Tau had a great ACO showing. However, just looking at event results across the country,
yeah,
Necrons,
if we take the aggregate,
yeah.
but I'm saying if we're taking the best list, I feel like the best Tau list and the best Tyranid list are more consistent than that Necron list.
I disagree on Tyranids.
Tyranids and Tau can have one event.
Necrons have one event.
Not in a long time. Like, nothing serious.
Tyranids have one. I mean, February is the last Tyranid event. Like, that's still
Is
like,
it really? I thought it was...
Has anyone won? Oh, no, the Harridan won when an event recently, but they didn't play it as not moving into Dawn of War, so that's like, it's a giant asterisk for me. Man, so I think they're bottom of B tier.
They are just not... They have... The only hope they have into AdMech is Sky of Falling Stars, so you have to build into Catan, which weakens you in other matchups.
But honestly, like, some of the B tier lists just don't have play into AdMech, and they just roll with it. That's just life.
Yeah, I think they have less play than these. Maybe they have more play.
Yeah.
They probably have more play than Custodes and Admech for sure. Because at the end of the day, the amount of mortals, just damage that's coming in Custodes. Yeah, you turn off rerolls, but on one unit.
Yeah, so like I cannot believe that Necrons get the results they do, which are not amazing, but they get way better results.
20 warriors are still strong
really
because
good.
of the reanimation.
And if 20 warriors is good, then so is 60 and 80. That means...
It's just you are automatically giving up 15 secondary points within the ranks, and that's most of the top armies don't give up a 15 on a kill secondary.
That's true. Necrons. Well, I think if Necrons drop the Scarabs, they don't.
But I wasn't even running that many Scarabs. I'm not saying 27 Scarabs.
Yeah, I'm saying like 9. 3 units 3. That's all I would do. I get it. But like I think that's still a B tier army. I think we're agreeing on how good Necrons are and aren't.
Yeah.
But I think we're just like, what does that actually mean for like what does a B tier army look like?
Yeah, B tier, it has a decent amount of tools, especially mission play. Mission play is the big thing here. All these armies are actually, except for Salamanders, they're just being baseline Marines. They're decent at the mission because of rights of war.
Yeah.
But without that, they would drop pretty significantly, honestly.
But
these armies
without
all
it,
play,
sure, but they have it.
They all play the primary game very well.
Yeah.
Custodes are the worst at it, and that's why they're at the bottom there.
Let's knock out a couple Space Marine lists real quick because there's a few of them left. Let's grab Raven Guard real fast.
Yep.
They're better than Imperial Fists. I think they're worse than Emperor's Children.
Yeah, they're just.
I think they're worse than Slash Demons too.
Yeah, they have a forward deploy, but at the end of the day,
yeah, they're like a go first list that's like
they don't do a lot of damage.
Not they don't do that much damage. Like I went second against Raven Guard. I had like 600 points inside my deployment zone on turn 1, and that was the only turn my opponent scored engaged all fronts because I killed everything.
There's also a ton of infiltrating units up
there. There is like there's so many things to block it now. They're C tier. I would put them below Slash Demons. They're better than Fists. That's what I'll say about Raven Guard. I honestly don't think we need to dwell on them much. We do, however, have a $5 super chat from Keith French. Do Knights need allies to play the mission? Aren't they pretty bad versus AdMech? Knights are pretty bad versus AdMech, 100%. But most of these C-tier armies look at AdMech and are like, crap. And Tau may have a chance, Tyranids straight up don't.
I think at best it's like Tau and it's an army that can just play the mission very well.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that's why I did not fight any longer for Tau being ahead of Knights.
Yeah. It's tough. Almost every army has a bad matchup with that.
That's why AdMech's on S tier. That's why AdMech's in S tier right now. Let's grab Craft Worlds.
With Iron Hands.
Oh, Iron Hands? Oh, we already put Iron Hands in. Sorry.
Oh, that was Iron Hands?
That's Iron Hands, yeah.
Oh, this is Raven Guard.
That's okay because that's actually just flip Iron Hands and Raven Guard for me. Yep, and that's right. These are the have-nots of Space Marines. I know not everyone wants to hear all Space Marines all the time.
You might not like it, but Blood Angels are actually better.
Yeah, they are. They are. Iron Hands do a dread list, but it's so one-dimensional, and they don't do anything. You would expect it's just a 6 film pain for dreads. That's really the only vehicle lifts they get, and it's not bad, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it for the Iron Hands.
All right. Do you want to do one more Space Marine or?
No, let's switch it up.
All right.
GSC.
GSC. Do it.
I think GSC are better than Khorne Demons. Okay, let's start here.
What did GSC have?
I think they're worse than Guard. All right. GSC have actually good secondary play. They have horrific staying power. None. They have no staying power whatsoever. They have good secondary play, mediocre primary, 0 staying power, which means that eventually their secondary game gets pretty bad because they don't have any units to engage the fronts with. Once you get hit 2 units, it's like, oh no, I can't engage fronts anymore. And also I didn't do it on turn 1 either. It's like you don't engage in turn 1, you don't engage in turn 5. And it's like, ugh, this is terrible. GSC are in such a rough spot right now. I think they're going to go E, not F for me. Even though I don't know why E tier exists. It should go from D to F tier. I don't know why, just E tier shouldn't exist. Word Bearers, I think they're better.
I think, see, I told you they'd be better. They have more play than Word Bearers.
Fine.
Come on. Like, Ridge Runners are still...
They do. Ridge Runners are not...
It's still a decent tank. Acolytes popping out of the transports, still reasonably good, hit hard.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, we have a super chat from Snivar.
Where do you rank Custodes with Guard allies, and how do you think they do into AdMech? All right.
I think Guard and Custodes moves ahead of Salamanders.
You'd put them up here?
Yeah, I'd put them behind Harlequins still. Although, honestly, they might be better than Harlequins. It's close. They're very close to Harlequin tier, in my opinion. But also, Guard value has decreased recently.
Yeah, it's because the indirect is just... Full payload mana cores has just continued to...
Yeah, it's...
Not be good enough.
1 CP Lightning Fast Reflex hurt. AP2 AdMech really hurt. AP2 into AdMech really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, -1 damage Dreadnought's getting popular.
Counting power all over the place.
Yeah, it very quickly became inefficient. So I would have put that as like...
I think Custodes with cheap stuff is up here.
I would have put it ahead of Death Guard. But I think recent changes, I think they're about Harlequin tier. Maybe a little behind, but they're very close there. And, good pilots can still do good things with that. We've seen it before. We've seen Guard and Custodes do well in tournaments. We've seen it do well on our streams. I like it. But recent changes make me really down on Manticores.
It slowly dropped it down.
Slowly dropped it down, yeah.
All right. Black Templars.
Black Templars,
Army
perhaps even Jack Templars.
An army that is not played very frequently, but top players who play it have done very well.
Yeah, we've seen
Sasha,
Jack do well with them. He
top
top-8'd Clutch City. Sasha top-8'd ACO. We've seen Ben Sherwin get top results with them as well. Black Templars have good stuff.
Advance in charge, hold infantry in combat on
Yep,
2-up.
Yep. Devout push means
Devout
they can
push.
have the single fastest unit in the Space Marine
But
collection.
also deny primary points very easily.
Good. Yeah, they're very good. The weird thing with Black Templars is that they have good tricks. They don't play that well into the Dreadnought archetype, where they take Dreadnought. Their shooting is middle of the road. I mean, it's still Space Marines, it's not bad, but they don't really have shooting buffs. They just have one defense buff, one battle round. I think Black Templars... See, I don't want A tier to just be a string of Space Marines, but I feel like that's where it's going. I think that's where it's going.
The best of Space Marines.
They're not the best of Space Marines.
No, I'm saying A tier is the best of the Marines.
A tier is the best of Marines. It does feel that way, because it feels like there's a visible gap between the Marines, the best several Marine chapters, and the next thing that's not Marines. But also they feel below the S tier army so far. We'll see where Sisters falls with this. That's going to be an interesting one. We may save that for last. Black Templars, I think, are A tier. They've done very well at events. They've had consistent top 8 showings. They've won a couple small events. But, I got to give them respect for multiple, good showings at majors. Yeah, so they're going to be an A tier.
Is it worse than Deathwatch?
Or better than Deathwatch?
Better than Deathwatch.
I think I'm going to give them better because they've had better results at events. I think I'm going to go better than... Now, White Scars versus
They've
Black
had better
Templar.
results than White Scars, too.
Recently, yes. Very recently, yes. All right, I'll put him there. Put him behind Ultramarines. I'm not going to accept that easily. We're going to have a challenge match at some point as soon as Jack finishes up his Black Templar army, painting it. We're going to do White Scars versus Black Templars. I'm okay with Black Templars there, though. That hurts. Now I need to play White Scars and go to top 8
the more reliable holding in combat, I think, does actually help.
Yeah.
It's just another trick you really want as a melee army right now. I got a $5 super chat. I want to hear John on Dark Angels. Heard he thinks the list doing well or what? Definitely better not think that. I am a huge fan of Ravenwing. Then Milkus has a $5 super chat. Scars top of A, but all Marine units nerfed. Nostalgia, or is there a list?
Mainline units.
The mainline, yeah.
I think there's 100% a list there. I mean, nerfing those things means you drop one thing from White Scar list, which is probably the Apothecary, and then you add a unit instead. Is there nostalgia in there? Yes, but all of the tools that White Scars used to do well still exist 100%. None of the things that White Scars were doing got nerfed. Their Van Vets got a little more expensive, but I am not changing the number of Van Vets I have on the list. That doesn't change at all. It's still super good. So I think White Scars, I'm still happy with them in A tier. And yes, there's also nostalgia.
There's some nostalgia, but at the end of the day, your army having advance in charge, you see how powerful it is on Drukari. It's amazing on Marines as well.
Yeah. Lyle,
one of the best rules in the entire game.
Yeah. Lyle, I do not think that the Dark Angel is doing well at trash. I think that Ravenwing has a ton of play. I think Landspeeder Vengeances are trash. I'll say that out loud 7 times in a row if you want. But I think Dark Angels in general, I think Storm Speeders are going to introduce a really cool element to them as soon as people actually start playing it. So yeah, let's talk Dark Angels. Again, I feel like Dark Angels are awkwardly falling in A tier. Is A tier just 5 Marine chapters? I was not planning this, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know what else I'd put there.
They are absolutely an A tier.
Yeah, Dark Angels are A tier.
Tom's Ogden has they have.
They got
points
top 4 at ACO. They got some mild points nerfs, but they still have play.
They still have so much play. Those bike units are an absolute bear to deal with. The 4 OBSEC bikers with the attack bike.
Yeah. I'm saying we put them A tier. They've had better recent tournament showings than White Scars.
I think they're right below Ultramarines.
Okay. I'm alright with that.
Honestly.
Yeah. I think so. I still think Ultramarines are best.
I don't think they have the same defense as Ultramarines do because of the redeploy. But,
they have better defense from when they get hit, but Ultramarines are better.
The Dark Angel list that I've seen, you pretty much deploy in the line. You're just going to shove your army.
And the thing is that they have to go because they're short ranged.
They have a great second. They have better secondary play.
They may have the best secondaries.
Death on the Wind is absurd, even after it was clarified. Still just 15 points. I would put them there.
Yeah,
I think they are that good.
We do have another $5 super chat with Nathan Donald. asking, is the Void Dragon the best katana given the current vehicle heavy meta? That's for you. That's for you.
I don't think so. I still think the Nightbringer is actually the best one.
I
And
think I agree.
he's the most expensive, 100%. He should be a lot cheaper than he is. All the Catan should be. But he's something that actually kills something. You come close to my army with a scary, killy thing, the Nightbringer can pick it up.
Yes.
Very likely.
The Void Dragon, I just don't think is actually good enough at killing vehicles. That's the problem. Cool rule when vehicles die. I'm not really afraid of losing vehicles.
Like at the end of the day, the Iron Striders are not going to be near you, so forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, Raiders can avoid you if they decide to.
Yep.
Dreadnoughts, if you walk into the Dreadnought, yeah, he's slow.
He's too slow. And then the Dreadnoughts, they're just not walking into you.
No, they walk close to you and then they start backing up.
There's very few vehicles on here that are moving into you intentionally.
Yeah, Dark Angels maybe if they do line speeders.
Harlequins, Starweavers to help play on the
Harlequin Star. He's great. He's the best one into Harlequins.
Yeah.
But like that's not the category here.
No, I don't think he's as good. Also, the Nightbringer power is the best specific power.
100%. All right, let's
Even though I did it twice and didn't roll a single 4 up against Jack.
Good.
That was absurd.
Grab a Chaos Space Marine here.
World Eaters.
World Eaters?
Mark's World Eaters.
You gotta get the World Eaters in there.
It's an army that hits hard in combat. It has a pregame move.
You cannot convince me this is above D tier.
Going first, it's powerful. However, I think it's just a melee army that doesn't have a lot of the tricks that
doesn't.
melee
Yeah,
armies
its
defense is also terrible.
I think it's bottom of D. I think it's worse than Guard.
I think it's right above GSC, honestly.
Yeah, above GSC even. I'm not happy with, but sure.
I think it's above GSC because it actually does. It can pregame move. It can overwhelm.
It can overwhelm
people,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Get that. Black Legion.
Huh, is this weird Black Legion? Black Legion, just throw E tier. I think that they're struggling right now. I'd say below World Leaders. World Leaders have more cooler tricks. Yeah, throw them there. I think GSC is better than
30-man bricks of cultists with the boss.
No,
come on,
no,
come on.
It's so bad.
World killers.
No, put it in the bottom.
Okay.
All right, Iron Warriors. I'm willing to put. They're below Emperor's Children still. I still don't think they're pushing C tier. I think that they're better. I think they're D tier. I think they're below Guard though.
Okay, I'm fine with that because honestly, they're just not very good.
No. So we've got left Space Wolves,
Craft
Worlds, and Sisters.
All right, let's do
Craft Worlds. Yep.
They have a great psychic tree.
They do have a great psychic tree.
They have good indirect fire.
They have great indirect.
Their custom traits are also good.
They're just an ally.
They have some semi-decent mission playing stuff like Warp
You can MSU really well with them. You can turn them into a points factory like Tau. They just don't have the defensive Tau, but they have better indirect.
Well. Yeah, they don't do primary very well.
They don't do primary very well at all. They kind of need to trap people in the deployment zone to get that, but then they don't have great melee units either. So they're purely a support to Dark Eldar / Ynnari, I think. Man. Oh.
I think they're worse than Orks.
Yeah.
I think Orks play the mission.
Yeah, they're in D tier.
I think they're better than these armies.
Yeah.
I don't think they're better than Orks.
No, I don't think so either. Nope, I'm okay with that. They're pointing out in the chat that we use the Alpha Legion token for the generic CSM. So let's just talk about Alpha Legion a little bit. I think Alpha Legion are actually going to fall exactly where we have CSM anyways.
Yeah.
They have a couple cool tools. They're definitely in the top half of Chaos Space Marine chapters, but I have seen nothing from them event-wise.
No.
And I haven't seen people excited about them. I haven't seen since 8th edition.
We've seen more Thousand Suns.
We've seen more Thousand Suns. Like we've seen more Iron Warrior finishes somehow than Alpha Legion. You know, we should put we should.
If this is generic,
that's true. Then we should put Iron Warriors above that. Yeah, they're better than generic. But
are they better than Guard?
Oh no, they're not. Put Guard back out of that. Yeah. Yep.
I think the psychic tree is useful more. I think the psychic tree
of Thousand Suns. I'm a little
better
than
than
Suns there.
It at least gives you some play into some of this. Like I think just our struggle bus up here.
Alpha Legion, I'm just not excited about at all. The -1 to hit generically, not stacking with force, it's like it's not that great. Just there's no reason to take them right now. It feels like I don't know what you're doing with an Alpha Legion army.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Space Wolves and Sisters. Let's knock out the Wolves. Alright, so if we're talking wolves that take Thundercav and Wolfen, I think they're upper, like D tier /
I think
bottom C tier.
they're worse than Blood Angels for sure.
They're worse than Blood Angels if you're just taking chapter Space Wolves with Thundercav. I think that's terrible, and I'm not afraid to say it. However, if you take Codex Space and you go successes with Whirlwind of Rage, Super Doctrine for every 6 hit is 3 hits, you take a couple Dreadnoughts, a good Psychic Tree, Jump Pack Vanguard veterans that are totally not Vanguard veterans, and that's why they're 2 points cheaper, because they're Wolf Guard veterans, and then like 2 or 3 Cyber Wolves. That is not bad. We've seen Jaime Paris do very well. He had a good top finish at the Rocky Top Rumble. I think they're still worse than a couple of the other Marine chapters. I'm willing to put Space Wolves as B tier, but I think that they're not getting the consistent results that Deathwatch are. They did well at the tournament in Utah as well, actually. But the Space Wolf popping up tops are few and far between. I haven't seen it at a Super Major yet, at all.
I think they're better than Salamanders.
They do consider they're definitely above Salamanders.
I think these armies are much more consistent.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with Space Wolves being upper half of B. I don't quite want to put them as high as the other Marine chapters though.
I think they have more play than
they've much better play than
Marine
what
chapter.
Yeah, they're definitely better than those ones. I think they're better than Salamanders too.
I think they're better than Salamanders.
Yep.
And I think their potential is higher than these. But
Yep, I agree.
I still don't think they're as consistent.
No, they don't get the consistent result that Death Guard or Harlequins do in my mind. All right, that leaves one.
Sisters.
This is the hard one. This is obviously the most recent book. We have only had 1 weekend of Sisters like existing as a faction. They did win a GT in that weekend. A lot of people think that this codex is worse than the existing one. I actually disagree with that. I think Sisters are in a great spot. But yes, I am putting them under Black Templars. Yep. I am doing it without even apologizing. I think Black Templars are faster, have better tricks. Space Wolf's whole thing is that they hit hard. They take a couple good Marine things, they make it more efficient. They make the combat more efficient, and they put them in cover with a -1 to hit, sometimes on the Dreadnought shooting brick. But they don't have any offensive shooting buffs other than ignore negatives to hit, which is
I played against
fringe at best.
Yeah. It's just not enough.
I think Sisters are easily A tier. Easily A tier. I think they're in the upper half of A tier. I think Sisters are better than Dark Angels. Ultramarines, they might be better than too. That one's tougher. I'm not really sure.
What did Sisters do well? We could just
All right,
break it down.
Sisters, it's so hard because it's new and it's different. But they have a lot of cool mechanics. They have amazing bodyguard character rules, amazing board control, solid secondaries, good primary. They have really good trading pieces. They can go MSU. They have very efficient shooting units. They're not an army-wide shooting army the way like AdMech is, but they can take a couple very efficient shooting units, like Retributors. They did lose some range, but they gained shooting range because they have much better shooting than before. Retributors are about the same, I think, as like before. They took the heavy penalty, but now they ignore cover, and you can get better rerolls on them, and they actually got a little bit cheaper. So Retributors are the same as before, and Flamers got so many good buffs. Scout moves got introduced. Stormbolters got amazing buffs, literally just damage 2. Flamers are +1 strength. Strats to max the shots on Flamers. Strats to make Stormbolters amazing mortal wound output. The shooting went up, their speed with shooting went up, their speed with combat went down a little bit, their characters got better, their bodyguards got better, they got cheaper as an army. I think, saying it out loud, I think Sisters are going to be the best army in A tier. I think they're not proven enough for me to put them on S.
Yeah, I also think that AdMech,
They're not AdMech or Drukari yet.
They don't have like the clear, I'm just going to stomp
Yeah.
some of the factions down here. And then they don't have the mission play of Drukari. Drukari just plays the mission.
No one has the mission play of Drukari.
Exactly.
No one has the damage output of AdMech. Those are, if your play is to mission people or if your play is to table people, those two are the best armies in the game. One of those two.
But I do think Sisters just have more stuff.
Yeah, I'd put them ahead of all the Space Marine chapters. I'm alright with that.
They have more. They play MSU so well.
Yeah.
And this is an MSU edition. And we saw with the previous codex, the new codex is excellent at playing it as well. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be, what's that final combination? They're going to get a supplement for Armard.
Yeah, they're about to get a supplement, which is not going to hurt. But right now, even without a supplement, I think they're one of the top 3 codexes in the game. I think they're they're a little bit better than Space Marines. But also the big thing is that this Space Marines that we have right now is refined. Like this is Space Marines that the entire world is testing because everyone plays Space Marines, and we've been hammering out Space Marines for a while. Sisters, this is brand new, and there's a lot of depth there that's still unexplored. And that to me, I feel like Sisters have a lot more room to improve than Space Marines right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Where like I can do another 10 games with my Marine army, and I don't think my list is going to change a point. If I do another 10 points with Sisters, I think my list is going to get better, and they're already feeling very good.
Yeah, what did Sister start out with, a 58% win rate this past weekend?
I actually have no idea.
It was something reasonably
Very respectable, yeah. I think Sisters are good. And yes, Sisters did win a GT. That was the Rage GT, if you want to look it up on BCP. It also was recorded an Art of War episode for the podcast last night. So it'll be up very soon to view, especially if you're on Patreon, or shortly afterwards if you're not. But yeah, check out the Rage GT for the Sisters' first one of the new codex. I'm content with this.
All right, so two things. Let's go over let's go over what we've done here. See if we want to change anything last minute. And then second, we're gonna empty this out, and chat. You are gonna give us what your rankings is. So you are gonna go through. We're gonna just pick a pack. Do it? Chat's gonna do it, John. We're gonna pull faction out, and you're gonna type SA whatever, and whichever has the most, we're gonna drop it in there. All right. We're gonna see what the
take a while. That's gonna take a while.
Well, we're not gonna do all the small factions. We're gonna do the main ones.
So the main ones.
Yep.
Okay. So take a screenshot, folks. This is about to go away.
All right. I think we're happy with these.
I think I'm happy right now. I don't think I'm gonna make any changes. I thought I was going to, but looking at it, I'm pretty content there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty reasonable based on the consistency that we're seeing at events so far.
Yeah.
Maybe Salamanders are a little high, honestly.
Maybe.
They just haven't had the showings.
They haven't at all, actually. Yeah, actually drop them below Necrons.
But yeah, no, I think this is a good place to be. All right. Let's go ahead and chat. Tell us what you think.
Take a screenshot of that real quick. Print screen. I just want to have that saved for future smack talking purposes.
We're good on that. Let's go ahead and reset this.
All right, down it goes.
You ready for this, chat? We're going to start with AdMech. Go ahead. What tier is AdMech?
There's going to be a little bit of a delay on this, so...
A little bit of delay. I imagine everybody's going to put them at S.
Just put them at S.
I think they're going to start there. But where are people going to put our next front? I'm going to move all the Chaos Space Marine ones down so we don't do all that.
Yeah.
We don't need to put Chaos Space Marines. 1,000 Suns can stay up there. Ooh. Death Guard stay up, Emperor's Children, and Iron Warriors. S+, S, AdMech S tier.
D, Robocom.
Come on, don't do that.
All right.
No trolling.
All right, next up, let's go Drukari. Let's.
I think Drukari is going to be the same exact deal. It's going to be, where do they put them?
Right.
Is it S tier above? So is Drukari going to be above AdMech or below AdMech? I'm going to start...
When you put your comment in, don't just put S, put like AdMech S or Drukari S so that we know which faction you're talking about, because there is a little bit of a delay here. So we want to know...
I think this is all AdMech.
I think that's
very
all AdMech.
Clear all AdMech.
That's yep. So yeah, so just comment whatever it is.
FYI, get out of here. You know you want to play AdMech. We know how badly you want to play AdMech.
Yep. All right, I'm assuming that's all AdMech, so give us the Drukari letters right now.
Tell us...
Drukari what? What is Drukari?
Where are Drukari going to fit in here?
Uh-huh.
Drukari top of S, S+ broken, above S, couple
Drukari
S,
above AdMech.
All right.
S below AdMech, S below AdMech, Drukari above, S behind AdMech, below S,
above,
below AdMech. I'm seeing more below than above. AdMech S plus Drukari S, DE under AdMech.
Top of S, above S Drukari.
AdMech over Drukari, S below AdMech. I think we're putting AdMech above Drukari. I think I'm seeing more below AdMech than above AdMech.
All right.
AdMech
S plus.
All right. So the next army we're gonna do
Guard.
Guard. Where
the hell is Guard?
Put Imperial Guard somewhere.
Oh, poor Guard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see where Guard is. I think people think D. I don't think there's a lot of Guard love out there right now.
I don't think there is much. No.
Last Chance Bragg, or what's his actual name?
It's Try Again Bragg.
Yeah. Not enough. The Cadian upgrade sprue, not enough.
Mm-hmm. No. All right, so consensus was add Mech above Drukari for ST. All right, we're starting to see Ds come in, low D.
Throw guard into D.
D, oh no.
Oh, the forward guard.
C, okay, D. F, D minus, low D. Try again, brag, that's plus. D, E, D, E, C. All right. It's averaging around D here.
All right. Let's do the 1,000 Suns.
All right, so next up, 1,000 Suns. Where are we putting 1,000 Suns? Not Chaos Space Marines, just 1,000 Suns.
Just 1,000 Suns. I feel like they're probably going to end up in the same spot. Let's just throw them up there.
I'm feeling they're going to end up in D. So again, put 1,000 Suns or TSD or TSA or whatever you want to put them.
Guard is D.
All right.
All right, give us the 1,000 Suns.
Give us 1,000 Suns.
They have Great Wall We Stand with the Mutalithe Vortex.
You cannot forget it.
Some of the best Wall We Stands in the game, according
100%, absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
1,000 Suns. D.
Are we on 1,000 Suns yet?
Yeah, 1,000 Suns. E. C. So far, pretty even.
There's a couple C's in there. D or E. D.
D.
Okay. E. Oh boy, it's coming in. DC. All right.
C.
All right. So they're above guard.
Above guard. D. C.
Couple
tier?
C. Couple C.
D tiers.
D. I'm seeing a couple E's, a couple C's, but I'm feeling like the average is in the C's here. Or the D's.
I think with so many C's, though, I think we put them ahead of guard.
Yeah, I think so. Not many people are arguing for 1,000 Suns to be.
Yeah,
all right, so above guard.
Of...
All right, I'm okay with above guard.
All right.
Let's grab a
Space Marine faction.
Are we doing all the Space Marines separately or just doing Space Marines?
Let's just do Space Marines.
All right.
Where do we
One
find...
logo for just Space Marines.
We'll do it as the Ultramarine one because John loves them so much.
I do love Ultramarines, so we'll use the Ultramarine one.
Where are Space Marines? If we put all of them together as a collection...
Yep. Codex Space Marines. This one,
Codex Space Marines and all its supplements.
So yeah, so again, put Space Marines A or Space Marines F, whatever it is. Just
this is including Dark Angel, Deathwatch, all of them.
All of it together. All Space Marines. I feel like we're gonna get some A's here.
Let's see. Drukari below S.
Who is
below S in Drukari?
Alright, Space Marine
A.
A.
Start up there.
Okay, so we're getting some A's.
Is anybody gonna give
C? Oh, guard C. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Space Marine Dreads equals S plus.
Top of A.
That's right, they are. Top A. Alright. So people seem to be agreeing so far.
Very clear on A there.
Okay, yeah, a lot of A's here. Alright.
Let's do
Alright, so that's oh yeah, there is no one saying B. Dreads equals S plus, no dreads equals a D. Oh man.
Alright, where are knights? I want to hear chat.
Alright.
I think there's gonna be disagreement.
There will be. There's gonna be disagreement on Tau too.
I'm sure there is.
I'm hoping that you fine readers put knights above Tau. But actually give serious answers though. Don't just do it because you're choosing sides between.
Don't do it for the memes.
Don't do it for the memes. Tell us where you think knights are.
Alright, where are knights? They're not in S tier.
No, Leopold is speaking the truth. That's so many S's. That's all for knights. I think I can beat out with knights.
Those are for Marines. That was a lot of S's for Marines.
Yeah, it is.
All right, where are we going? Imperial and Chaos Knights together. Where are Knights going? Where are the big stompy robots going?
My favorite big stompy numbers. All right, C's are rolling in. I feel like the C's and the E's are for the Knights. Right? These are for Knights, I'm assuming, because those C's cannot possibly be for Marines. F tier.
High B.
C or D. High B. Solvagon. I like it.
B.
Top
tier.
of D. B.
C minus. Nerfed on Titan Slayers. How does Titan Slayer still give up 15
I know.
points? That's crazy.
D, C, C, B. Knights A. D, C, C, C. All right, there's a lot of C's in here.
There's a lot of C's.
All right, so Knights, a couple D's, a couple B's, one A, one F. Mostly C's though. All right, so C's here.
Good gatekeeper army. All right, so actually pretty.
All right, let's do Tau next and clarify. If you say that Tau are C, theoretically, tell us if they're above or below Knights. And so Tau, where are you putting
them? Well-reasoned answer as to
I
want like a couple paragraphs.
No. Just give us. All right, so say Tau C or Tau A, Tau
Come
F,
on, chat.
Tau F.
Don't do me dirty here, chat.
All right, so
7-1 in ACO, baby. Beating 4 Drukari players.
I beat 5 Drukari players. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, where were you?
I still did well, Sean. I was fine.
John did well.
I did well, guys. All right.
All right. Here we go. Tell us about the Tau.
All right, give us Tau. Come on. I'm ready for this delay to be over.
The Tau Empire, Farsight Enclaves. Where are they going?
Mm-hmm.
D tier above 1,000 Suns. C above Knights. D. B.
That's
Got some
Tau
D.
D.
B
B.
tier.
Tau C above Knights.
T,
B below B. D below Guard. D, D. Okay, a couple Ds here.
Some C's.
C below F.
Above Knights.
Above Knights, though. D,
Tau
C,
T,
above Knights.
C.
Above Knights.
One tier above Knights.
D, D, C. It's a tie. D. A lot of Ds. D, D, E, C, E.
A if I'm playing them. There's some E's now.
I feel like
Chat's doing me dirty here.
Chat's doing you dirty there. I'm seeing more D's and E's than C's.
Yeah, it looks like D's, and
It's I think above Guard though.
Yeah.
All right, I think
I'm seeing
there's enough C's in there,
some B's,
and also a lot of
more
people giving you
Ds.
love. Some people giving you love as well. Tau above Sisters, I
Definitely.
absolutely not. I will not tolerate those words.
When they get their codex, 100%.
Tau better than Knights. Siegler S. The Manta.
The Manta Tau.
Whistling Bird. Whistling Bird.
Whistling
All
Bird
right.
knows about the Manta. Tau better than Knights. Let's not joke.
E tier if not Siegs. Knights are the same no matter who plays them.
That should be spotted. S tier. All right. I think D ended up winning out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. People want to talk Sisters. Let's put Sisters up.
All right. Sisters up
Where
on
is
the
this
block.
brand new Sisters? Where are they going?
All right. This is one I'm expecting to get some different results on. All right. So Sisters next. We put them at the top of A tier, but we'll give it a second for that delay to kick in, and then we'll see what the court of public opinion has to say.
Tell us from what position they're smiting heretics from.
Exactly. What letter are just the Emperor's daughters? What are they doing? Where are we going? All right, I'm waiting for this play.
Look at where Tau a couple months ago would have been down here.
That's true. That is true.
Down,
The last time we did a power rankings, Tau were like
no respect. I've been
A, low A, top A, B, high A plus.
A plus, top of A.
No S's yet. A, high A.
Dark Angels are with all the Marines here.
Yeah.
We're just using the Ultramarines logo. Are they above Marines or below Marines?
Yeah, let us know if they're above or below Marines. Bottom of S. Sisters equals C.
Top.
Oh, I cannot agree with C. Top A, high A, Sisters S, top of A, above Marines.
B tier
overrated. Top of A, B tier overrated.
Bottom of A, above Space Marines. Sisters A, bottom of A. Sisters A, mid pick, not easy to use. People want bottom of A. I'm seeing
B, lots of tools.
I'm not seeing a lot of above.
No, Sisters are bottom of S, above AM. Oh, damn.
Sisters require skill now, so low A.
Sisters S bottom.
They need to use Miracle Dice nowadays, right, John?
Exactly. No, they did it before. S bottom, above Marines. We got a couple S's in there though.
We got a
People
couple
want
S's.
them to be easy. Yeah, they're not easy to win with. That's for sure. This is tough. Above or below Marines.
I haven't seen enough that said above Marines. I think we saw
the next one we're gonna do is Death Guard, by the way. So put your Death Guard votes in now. But let's wait for these to. So cast your Death Guard votes now, because by the time we're saying this, we'll be done talking.
Put them in S. I just built 1,700 points of Sisters this weekend.
1+ saves. What a hero. A+ tons of MSU. I'm seeing a little more above Marine than below Marine. So I think that they're agreeing with us. So coming in pretty consistent with us so far.
Death Guard.
All right, so next up is Death Guard. Yeah, even more above Marines coming in. Hopefully we'll be getting some Death Guards in a second.
Where is Death Guard? And then we're gonna set up.
Mm-hmm.
We should set up a single.
Death Guard B.
I want to set up Harlequins next.
Okay, we'll do Harlequins next. So right now we're doing Death Guard, Harlequins are next. So start casting your vote for Harlequins. And we'll see what these... All right, Death Guard B, Death Guard top of B, top C, A. Okay. So far B's. Let's see what people are saying here.
Death Guard A.
Why you shouldn't have split Marines, because it really depends on case by case. That's true. Well, that's why we went into the in detail conversations in the first part of the video.
We wanted this to be a
little quicker. Yeah. Top B, low A, bottom A, top C, B, low A.
Seeing a lot of B and low A.
B and low A, solid A, bottom A. Okay, A's. All right, there's some A votes coming in. A tier.
Death Guard.
Death Guard Volkites are even better. Oh, I don't know about that.
They don't have Seal of Oath or Tome of
BBA Gatekeeper tier. That may be true. But we seem to be getting some low A's, so maybe we were undervaluing the Death
All
Guard.
right, let's move on to the
Matt
Harlequins.
Laura says word bearers are S+.
No.
You know, drag the word bearer into S+, just for Matt to look at it.
S+,
Matt, you've got 5 seconds to take a screenshot before this goes away.
Literally 5.
And, oh, there it goes.
They're not even on the chart.
Wow, I'm so sorry, Matt.
Harlequins, we're seeing some A's for Harlequins so far.
You put them in S.
Oops, sorry.
Harley's A+, okay.
A+. Where are they in A if they're in A? Tell us where they should be.
Solvagon says the Death Guard in the middle of Space Marines. Okay. Harley A, yeah. Let us know if you're thinking A+, A- for the clowns here.
Definitely no support for the Harlequins.
Yep, and then let's do a Custodes next. So Custodes next, but right now Harlequins. So Custodes next. Harlequins is B for Bazinga. They do like to Bazinga right out of those boats and blitz you.
Another A.
B. Matt Laura got it. There you go. Harlequins
Mid-A.
between A- and S-. Ooh, okay. Zach got some faith there. Mid-A. Okay, so people are also putting Harlequins better than we had them. B. Let's see.
I'm seeing a lot of mid.
Harlequins B, A-, A-.
There's the A minuses.
Heavily on the player, mid-A. Okay, so I think I think A- is more popular than B here.
Is that ahead of
Harlequins above Sisters? Crazy, man.
above Death Guard, below
Above
Marines?
Death Guard, below Marines. Mid-A. Quins B. Custodes B-. Custodes top of B, low A. Hold on. B, very inflexible. That is one of the big problems is Custodes are not very flexible.
All right, I think
Quins
Harlequins are in
B.
a good spot over there.
Yeah, I think so.
All right,
Custard B, B,
Golden
low
Wars.
B.
Some B's, A's,
A, C, A, B, B-.
couple B's
B to
and
C.
C's.
I'm seeing more B's than A's so far, and a couple C's are dragging the average down here.
I'm gonna drop them into B,
Okay.
and then we're gonna put Chaos Space Marines as the next.
All right. So
And
Chaos Space
all
Marines
the
next.
Emperor's Children, all of them in there.
Yeah. So cast your Chaos Space Marine votes right now. We'll get to that in a second. Harleys are entry level F, proficient level B, maybe A-. Yeah. Custodes B. All right. So Custodes B seems to be the most popular response here.
B
There
because
are a lot of finesse.
B minus.
So
B.
Harleys B, Custodes B, B-. Yeah. Mid B, Custodes high B. All right. So Custodes B tier is very much a consensus here. So we'll see. What are these Chaos Space Marine votes gonna start coming in here?
Chaos Space Marines, and then we'll do Grey Knights.
And then we'll do Grey Knights after. So right now, Chaos Space Marines.
The loyal friends.
Chaos Space Marines F. Oh boy. Oh, that's a bad start.
Oh, just so everybody
All right.
can
Just
see.
so the one vote so far, Chaos Space Marines F. C. Okay. Custodes B. Chaos Space Marines F. Oh no. Emperor's Children and Iron Warriors are C mid. S rest is D. Chaos Space Marine F. Oh no. A lot of
There's some
F,
angry
yes.
Chaos fans. in
D,
chat.
F, D, E. Emperor's Children B, everything else is C, F, D. Oh no. Soup is higher, that's probably true. Wordbearer Summoning is a B plus, God bless him. Custodes B, yeah. Chaos Space Marine D tier, ouch.
Oh, poor D tier.
Alright,
I've
I
seen
think
a
D,
lot
I'm
of
seeing a lot of D, yeah. E, C, a lot of C's and F's
couple
actually.
of these.
But the average has to be in the D's or E's here. Alright, so we're on to Grey Knights, so
I'm
cast
gonna put them
those-
ahead of Thousand Suns because
Okay.
they got actual C
Yeah.
rankings.
Yeah, soup tier for sure. Let's get those Grey Knight rankings in.
Grey Knights, and then we'll do Necrons.
Then we'll do Necrons.
Which
So
I also think chat will disagree on.
I think chat's gonna be wild on Necrons.
How low are Necrons? After
Or
we
how
do-
high?
Yeah, or how high, but I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Grey Knights. Chaos
Grey
Space
Knights
Marines,
B. Okay.
Still more putting them C and D, so I think they're in a good enough spot there.
Yeah. More Chaos Space Marine hate there. Poor Chaos Space Marines.
Grey Knights B.
Okay, so people are already higher on Grey Knights than we were.
That's surprising because their
Yeah,
win rate is
the
terrible.
first two. Yeah, another Grey Knight B there. Grey Knights mid B, B rank. Okay.
All right.
B
wow.
minus. Okay.
I
Wow.
love for the
All right.
Grey Knights, which I
Love
love
for
to
the-
see. The Knights of Titan.
You do love the Knights of Titan. All right, it's a little higher than we were there. C plus, high C, B, C because of the moment. C below Knights. Ooh, B easy. What are Grey Knights exactly?
Psychic Space Marine.
Mid C, Drukarians until kill them. Grey Knights C. All right, so a lot of C's rolling in, but they start off with a bunch of B's.
B minus,
B,
B,
C,
B
C,
plus.
B.
I
They're
think they're getting dragged.
I think
in.
they're getting dragged down into C.
C
They had a
plus.
good push for B, but all right. So next up, let's cast those Necron votes.
Necrons, then GSC.
Yes, it'll be Necrons then GSC. So right now, more C below Knights, C, T. Oh, those poor Tyranids after Gene Storhill. Let's get them together.
Getting together.
All right. Yep. A lot of C's for Grey Knights here. Okay. So yeah, they're getting dragged down into C. They had some enthusiastic B's at first, but down to C with them. So we've got these Necron votes come in, hopefully.
Down to no.
Kron's bottom of B, their gatekeeper. B above Custodes. Okay. So far, Necrons are getting the B love that Grey Knights got to start with. Let's see. Strong B.
Strong B.
A plus with the arcing lot.
The arcing lot.
I do love the arcing lot.
I love that.
Top of B. Okay. All right. Necron love coming in hot here. B plus with crutch. Necron B.
B minus, high B. B above Custodes.
B and falling fast. That's actually probably true.
That's 100%.
I think we're on the same page there. High B above.
F.
Oh, poor Necrons.
B plus. A tier. Still think they're better than Ninth Book.
Yep.
But not better than Sisters. Necrons bottom of B only because of OBSEC.
So many B's. So cast those Gene Slayer cult votes right now, folks.
Yeah.
Cast that GSC
Enough
vote.
B for us to comfortably.
Yeah, they're comfortably.
Give us GSC and Tyranids. Where are they
GSC
going?
and Tyranids, so let us know where they're going. But GSC first, and then we'll do Tyranids after. All of my coaching says Necrons F.
That's not true. I gave you a good enough list, and you were beating everybody but Brad Chester.
That's not a bad place to be. I mean, that's basically Nick level right there.
Yeah.
Necrons B, solid B. 3 monoliths is AA plus. Oh yes, build that monolith, Richard. You know I love it.
Well, it doesn't have fly John, so it's different.
That's neither is an impulsor. Necrons B. All right, so many Bs.
All right,
Nowhere near Marines.
GSC and Tyranids. After GSC.
No, don't say it.
Are they going to be the only faction after?
Oh my god, I think they are. Necrons are solid B. GSC F. GSC D.
Oh,
F,
look at
F,
this. F's
F.
rolling
Oh
in.
no.
Baby. There they are.
I didn't want this. Oh god.
Meme tier.
Oh. D, E, F, F, F,
all right.
F. Oh my
They're
god.
gone.
All right.
Tyranids C.
All right, Tyranids. Give me some Tyranids here.
Tyranids C. B or A minus.
GSC F, GSC are not that bad. GSC Z tier. Kron's low B. Okay. GSC E, GSC D.
GSC can easily be guard if Nick is playing the guard.
That's okay.
Nids is C. We got some C's. Bottom of B. C desperately needs something like the Doom. Or that's Necrons. Nids B. We got a B. Some C's.
GSC or E tier or E.
Mid B.
Mid B for Tyranids?
Oh, A tier.
Flips are good. GSC F, Nids C. Okay, Tyranids C minus, GSC F, yeah. Nids bottom of C. So Nids and C seems to be the popular one.
Top of C.
GSC is far worse than guard.
D to C. C with D McCarrans, E without them.
Yeah,
It's D tier. C plus.
C plus to B. C plus to B.
I think Nids in that.
So many Fs. Oh my goodness. Murphy, who are you talking about there?
All right.
Nids at C's. Okay.
Next up, we have Demons and Craft Worlds.
All right. So Demons next.
Then Craft Worlds.
So just all Demons together. All Demons together. What are you thinking for Demons? We kind of had Demons fluctuating between like the very bottom of C and F tier.
Yeah.
I think
Khorne is all the way down.
Khorne was all the way down.
Where are the collective of demons? So the best of demons.
Yeah. The whole demon thing.
Yeah.
Bugs and C seems pretty consistent here. Okay.
Where are we gonna rank these demons?
All right. So let's wait till we get these demon votes flowing in. Demon C. Okay.
That's a high start.
That's a high start. All right. Okay. What's it gonna be?
Where are the demons going to
I'm
land?
excited for the orc rank.
Mid C. Yeah, that's
Mid C, Demons D, Demon C. All right, start casting those Craft World votes. So pure Craft Worlds, Craft World Eldar. Let us know where that goes. Okay. What are
C tier.
C Slanesh C.
Oh, the
Okay.
full book is F tier.
Full books F. Demons B, top of C F. Oh my goodness. Sad noise for Khorne D minus. We are getting some mixed results here. There's some Fs. There's some Bs. D minus. Oh, Demons maybe slipping down into D. Oh, D, low C. I think they're going into D tier.
Where in D tier?
Poor Demons.
Are they better than Chaos Space? Are they better than these factions? Don't think Bellicor fixed them.
C minus, pure Delacord, low D. Oh no.
Looks like with enough C's, they could be at the top.
Yeah, I think they got enough C's to be top of D. Eldar mid C. All right, so start casting Orc votes, by the way. Let's vote for Orcs, but right now we're getting the Craftful votes in. E tier for Eldar. E for Eldar. Yeah, top C. Mid A. Craft World mid A. What is happening? Craft World pure is F. Soup is B plus.
D.
Soup does carry them a little bit because they are not a bad Dark Eldar army, but D, B.
Above Tau.
Above Tau, better than D. Demons D. Better than Chaos Space Marines. All right, I agree with that. Demons D. Yeah. Eldar solid C. Top of C.
Maybe
E. Man, no consistency on the Eldar.
Eldar's all over the place.
Eldar's all over the place right now.
In the most C's.
All right. And Orks in D. Oh no.
Oh baby. Where?
Orks low D. Mid C. Mid C. Okay. Different results here.
C
Orks D minus. Orks B. B.
What? All right, they're going up.
Hold up.
They're going up.
Orks mid C. Orks D. Okay, they're going back down. Eldar is A tier. Interesting.
D, F, B. Yeah, this is all over the place. A minus.
No one knows where Orks are.
Stampa carries on C.
Stampa puts the whole team on his back. Orks D. Yeah, I'm sure that the new codex will be good for them, but I don't know where it is now. Orks C. Orks D, D, D. I think they're...
Orks are O tier. Never underestimate them.
They're G tier for green. Orks
D's
D,
right
D.
now.
There's a lot more D's coming in now. WA tier. All right. Start what is that all the...
Yeah, that's
the last of the main factions.
That's
okay.
all the main factions. So
Wow.
nobody made it into E. GSC a clear bottom.
Yeah, well,
and then most factions are sitting around C and D. The 9th edition books are up here.
I don't disagree with this at all, though.
No, I think
I think this all evened out about the same.
reasonably close. The Marines are just collated up to A. Harlequins and Death Guard got a bump up with less Marines being up there, and I think Grey Knights are the one. Tau went down to D.
Tau went down to D.
Middle of D. Craftworlds went.
Knights above Tau as it should be.
And then Grey Knights went to the top of C.
Yeah.
Those are the main changes. Well,
okay.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We
Indeed,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
everybody hanging out. We are going to try and do something fun like this on each Wednesday. Usually we do the Hangout and Hobbies on Monday. We want to do a fun live interactive video each Wednesday. So if you have any ideas of what you want us to do each of those Wednesdays, let us know. We're open to anything. Post in the YouTube community, post on our social media, wherever it is. We got a lot of cool things coming up. So tomorrow, for instance, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a live stream game. That is going to be me playing pure Custodes into the Jack Templars, Jack Harpester's Black Templars.
I'm excited for that.
An A army versus a B tier army. Can I pull a comeback? And then in the War Room, we are going to be playing Admech, my new Lucius Admech Lucius Mars build versus John Lennon here, who is running new Sisters. So we're going to see this top of A S tier battle in person in the War Room.
That's
so
what I'm
super
excited
exciting. John's going to be talking about his new list and where he's heading with Sisters.
Yep.
And we have tons of great content in the War Room each week. And on YouTube, we're improving our membership for the next month. So if you want to become a member, you're going to get access to a lot of different things, including the Art of War Discord channel, where we have a lot of high-level content. Coaches like John Lennon in there. We're going to have a monthly giveaway as well for our members, with the first gift being an exclusive coaching call with your 2 favorite Art of War coaches.
Yep.
So the winner will get that. And we are also going to be adding one War Room members only video to the YouTube members each week. And so we'll randomly pick that. Sometimes it'll be Meta Monday, sometimes strategy sessions, sometimes a clinic. But it'll change each week. So there'll be some flavor in there. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate all your support and for you hanging out with us. Once again, we do stuff like this Mondays and Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So come on over, hang out, ask your questions, chat with other people who are talking competitive 40K. This is a really great community, and we're so happy that everybody was able to join us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
We are going to send you off to a preview, a little promo video of the War Room if you're interested in hearing more about it. So thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Dive even deeper into competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.